Holy Land lovers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. This week blows. This week has been very bad. I don't know if anyone actually wants to hear about it. We had some new people show up. At first, I was like, I'm not going to talk about it because it's just Demolition and my mom was here for most of it. Right? I definitely feel like Eevee is more rabbit than like I'll grant you that Eevee is not obviously either rabbit or dog, but like at the very least, Eevee itself looks like a rabbit to me. Some of the evolutions look a little more dog-like, but a bunch of them are like kind of in the middle to me. It's like Fox, I can see. Fox is at least as plausible to me as dog. Just like the ears don't seem dog-esque. But that's my complaint about the Blue Eyes White Cinnamoroll. Fun fact about the Blue Eyes White Cinnamoroll. I was just, before I started the recording, Alcadius and I were comparing notes to some extent about the fact that we're trying to collect the Hello Kitty Yu-Gi-Oh! Plush toys. That they finally have, like, I think that promotion started in, like, like, I don't know, I want to say like Denmark or something, like over a year ago. And it's been like gradually going to various countries that aren't the US, and then it finally landed here. And then this is ridiculous to me, and I wouldn't have caught this if Alcadius hadn't pointed it out to me on our Discord, which is that there are 10 characters in the promotion based on like really like the 10 most famous monsters from the original Yu-Gi-Oh series. But for some reason, the US only gets 9 of them. They excluded the Red Eyes Black Dragon, and I don't. I think I think the Hello Kitty equivalent is a cat whose name I don't remember. I'm not totally sure. But like that's so weird to me. Like as far as I know, every other country has gotten all 10, and then the US was like, nah, for some reason, no. We don't know why. Like even like people who seemingly were paid to write about the promotion to like get it out there were referencing all 10 of them, including the Red Eyes Black Dragon one. And it's like what, like clearly we didn't do a good job of making it clear that we were making this distinction or why we were doing that. Yeah, Red Eyes is like clearly one of the most it's more famous probably than like Time Wizard or Karibo, and they're both in there. The Time Wizard one makes me sad because like Time Wizard, I absolutely love the character design of Time Wizard. He's so stupid and cartoony. Like I love him so much. And I just the problem is that like so much of what makes Time Wizard's design like iconic to me is his extremely cartoony stupid face. But like the whole point of this promotion is that it has like it's basically like cosplaying Hello Kitty characters, so they have to have like the regular Hello Kitty character face so that you can sort of recognize both parts of the crossover. But like it just doesn't work for me. I mean, hold on, give me a second. I don't know how hard it's gonna be to get like a good close up on this guy. Can I just get a zoom? Ugh, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. If someone can link me the picture, I'll put it up on stream. I'm too lazy for that. I got stuff to do. So I'll try to give you the short version of how terrible this week is. It's been very frustrating. For one, just I've had a couple of like particularly bad work days of just like there's been a lot of like people not cooperating with me at work, and unfortunately my job is largely collaborative with entities who partner with the company I work for. So I have to interface with these people, and if they're not helpful to me, then stuff just doesn't get done, and it's like just super bad for everyone. Well, that's I guess they're both sort of in there. Give me a second. Oh, I put this on a different screen. I like tried to prepare a thing. Give me a second. This is gonna be stupid. So we have to go over to the game for a second. Then we'll come back here. Don't worry about it. But what I need is the thing I set up today, which delayed the stream, and its name is Browser Catch. Okay, because there's something I want to show you later, so I had to set up a thing that will show you my browser anyway. So here, you're not seeing my mouse, right? Wait, if I go over here, do you see my mouse? Ah, okay. So over here is the Time Wizard dog. Now, this dog is fine. It's not especially cute. I mean, if you compare it to Cinnamoroll, who is supposed to also be a dog, it's like extremely not nearly as cute. But like, I don't. It's just the dog wearing his costume, which is like fine. That represents Time Wizard. But like, the thing about Time Wizard to me is his stupid face. But like, also this image happens to contain the Red Eyes Black Dragon. I guess the source animals, the penguin. I thought the penguin was Obelisk. I don't know. I haven't been paying enough attention. Oh, right, now I'm over here. I'm confusing myself as to where stuff is. Shrink this back down. I need to do that later. We have the whole set. Is there anything else I need to point out about the set? Wait, what is the... Okay. So the Red Eyes Black Dragon is clearly some kind of bird. What is that angry black bird? Obelisk is indeed a penguin. It's a much cuter penguin than the angry red eyes black dragon bird. Is he mad specifically because they excluded him from the US promotion? He's just also a penguin. I mean, I guess we have multiple dogs and multiple cats. Yeah, I don't know why I would think they just like they look like different species. Like their characteristics are so different. I mean, I don't know. Like I think that most of these have some broad appeal to someone in particular, whether you like the Hello Kitty character in particular or the Yu-Gi-Oh character. I do think it is the case that the Time Wizard is like the most disappointing one. But I'm biased in that I was really excited that they had Time Wizard on the list, and I don't think this captures what I think is fun about Time Wizard. I think Neko has said that she thinks the Karibo frog, whose name I don't remember, Karapan or something, is like the worst one. He's not like amazing. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm inclined to say that I think Blue Eyes is the cutest one, but I think that's partially just because Cinnamoroll is very very cute. Yeah, there's something a little like ominous about Karibo. Um, anyway, let's put this away until later. Big screen. Feel free to keep talking about this promotion. We've been discussing it a lot in the in the Discord. It combines two of my interests: cute things and Yu-Gi-Oh characters. So like, even though I told myself I wouldn't, I've been trying to collect them. I was jealous of the many countries who got it before us. And now I'm still a little jealous of the fact that most or all of them have the Red Eyes Black Dragon. But yeah, the short version of this week. So like, work has not been great. There were like 2 days in particular that sucked. We had like a lot of. There's a particular task that I have to do of like confirming with radio stations that they're like going to air something next week, because there's like preparation that normally goes into stuff this week for it to go on the radio next week. So like, I had to do a disproportionate amount of that, and it usually sucks. It's just like a really annoying, time-consuming task. But like, that in and of itself does not make a terrible week unless like stuff is super terrible, which that hasn't been the case. Um, a few months ago, I paid off the loan that helped me buy my current car, which I technically own. But so when I paid it off, the loan company, they were like, "Oh, we will send you the title to your car once you confirm your address." And this was like right before, like, I don't know, like 2.5 months of like nearly constant travel that led up to putting a bid on a house and then just having absolutely no spare time for anything. So like, I admittedly have dragged my feet on responding to that. But, I followed up on that now because I need that paperwork as part of the move. It's complicated. I won't bore you with all the details. But like there's a thing they're supposed to have sent me that I don't have, and I contact them and I was like, "Hey, so you said that you need my address. I will give that to you and then we can sort this out." And they're like, we just sent it wherever." I'm like, "Well, what do you where did you send it?" They're like, "Oh, we sent it to the address that we have on file." And then they recited my address that I lived at for 10 years, off by one number. And I was like, "Well, that's not the correct address." And if, I don't know why you automatically generated something that tells me that you need this address if you're not going to like double check it. Like it's one thing to just automatically do that and send it and like hope that you're not as stupid as you apparently are. But like why have like an extra intermittent step of you being like, out of an abundance of caution, we're going to make sure that we're not stupid, and then just like ignore that and do something stupid. And I don't know. My best guess is that they sent it like next door or something, or like across the street or whatever. I guess off by one will be the opposite side of the street, the way stuff works in the US anyway. And so, then they told me to contact the DMV, and they're like, "Oh, the DMV will issue you just like a copy of it." And like that's all you need is like just an official copy. Like it's just as good as like the thing that we should have sent you. So I call the DMV and they're like, "Hey, as far as we know, like you never paid off your loan because normally the company that has the loan will like tell us when the loan is paid off so that we could like release that paperwork you're looking for." And at this point I'm already super pissed. So from here it just like we're playing like pong of back and forth between the people who had my car loan and the DMV. And the DMV seems very straightforward and clear in their communication, and the loan company like sucks horrifically and is like saying stuff that probably isn't true and being rude to me the entire time. And then like after a few days, like I finally get someone who's like actively mad at me, to admit that they like have someone who like probably should be dealing with this and they're out sick. So, I tell them to like get this person involved when they're back, and I call back the next day and that person has already done like 90% of the work that I would have expected them to do. And it's like, God, I wish that person was there on Monday. That would save me like a lot of time. But now I need to like wait for them to mail me not the paperwork I want, a different set of paperwork so that I can give this paperwork to the DMV so that after a series of many, many steps, I can get the paperwork that I should have had months ago. So, like, I admit to having some culpability in this of not making it a priority in the midst of, like, this year's already been kind of chaotic. So I'm not trying to be like, woe is me, all of this happened to me. But at the same time, this is very much the type of thing that does happen to me. And there are many ways in which this could have not been a nightmare, and instead it was. Now, the fun thing about this is that that's like not close to the worst part of this week. It was very time consuming and very frustrating and very, very annoying, and not close to the worst part of my week. So over the last probably like week or so from this point, from today, which is Friday, August 30th, the like drains in my house started like acting weird. Like the longer I've been here using water in this house, I've talked about the fart water and how I've been trying to like run some extra water on occasion to filter out the non-purified water that lived in the water heater before we set up a solution to the fart water that comes from the city line. So that's one problem. But like it was just getting increasingly worse, where like I would take like a 15-minute shower of, trying to like thoroughly wash my hair because it's very annoying and all that. And by the end of it, the tub would be backed up to like well over my ankles, just from like regular running the shower, not for like an insanely long time, not like an extremely efficient short shower, but what I think is like an average shower duration. So yeah, my first thought is clog. At my old apartment, I got clogs like all the time because like I don't know, whoever like lived in my apartment before there like shoved an entire gerbil down there or something. It's just like you couldn't ever clear it. Um, so I go out of my way to get drain cleaner that I know works because I'd use it a lot at the old apartment, and I run that through the drain and then take a shower like a couple hours later after going through the whole process and giving it time to settle and all that. And if anything, it's worse than it was before, which is pretty wild, and just strongly suggests it's not a clog. And so, luckily, to some extent, um, I because I bought this house from like a company that like renovates the houses for profit instead of just like the previous owner. They gave me a few like some information on some warranties about some of the work that they had done. So basically, like if something weird happens to the carpet, or one of them is drainage. The drainage had a duration of like 30 days, which expired yesterday. So like the second I was convinced that like trying to unclog the drain myself wasn't gonna do it, like I called them up and I'm like, hey. I mean, they gave me a number for like a plumber who I guess they used, and this guy like hated me immediately. And I'm like, listen, this is the number they gave me to call, and all I know is that like the plumbing is not working correctly. I have some information. I don't have a lot of information. It shouldn't be doing this. So, after an unreasonable amount of back and forth for someone who provided a warranty on the work done here to make sure that the drainage of the house is working correctly, they sent someone out, and he took a look at the suspicious stuff and like seemed to have an idea what he thought was going on, and then he goes outside to do some stuff, and he calls me out, and my mom was here to sort of act as an intermediary because everything that needs to happen during a workday. So my mom and her infinite graciousness is usually there to help unless some crazy alternate thing is also happening at the same time. And he's basically like, yeah, so like I pulled up the drainage line, and what I found is that this tree on your property has grown like straight through the pipe and is probably like catching some debris from the drain and creating just like a blockage out here that's like not going to be handled normally. And the worst part of that is that this is a big mature old tree, so like these roots are going to be really difficult to deal with. And what we recommend long term is like rerouting the entire pipe around the roots, but in order to do that we kind of have to clear a bunch of the roots to start with, and they are hefty. So this is going to be a many thousands of dollar job, which obviously that's not great news, especially if you've been paying close attention. I have already contracted someone to do roof work, which is like probably the single most expensive thing you could do to your house normally, in a vacuum. And another great part of the week is that by this stream was supposed to have a new roof on my house. I don't, and dealing with the roofing guy has become increasingly frustrating. Since I put a down payment down, he's basically had some excuse why he couldn't talk to me every single day, and has not been extremely forthcoming about setting a specific date, committing to it, or providing any updates on any changes. So I love that for me. So yeah, not super stoked about that, but like at the time, I had the warranty, and the warranty like this is a frustrating thing about the nature of these warranties that I was given from the people who sold me the house, is just that they're all like a piece of paper with like a phone number to call, and just says like warranty and what it is and maybe like one additional piece of information. Traditionally, a warranty gives you some specific information about what the warranty covers. These did not. So like at the point that happened, I was like, well, maybe because it's under warranty, they'll like at least partially cover it. I didn't really expect it to be full coverage, but because of the nature of the way they presented this information, I was like, well, maybe they'll cover some of it. Long story short, they won't. But that's not even like the end of the plumbing story for just this week. Because after the temporary fix that guy did, which did cause it has permitted the drains to work correctly, at least in the short term, but he cautions me that there's no way to know how long that will last, and that proper long-term solutions is really insanely expensive thing I don't want to do. And so after that guy left, maybe not that long, like 15, 20 minutes later, my mom, who was just like, I don't remember what specific reason she had to stick around. I think she was just helping to clean up after the plumber was like traipsing some leaves and debris and whatever in the house, and I was still trying to work. But like after a while, she comes to my door with like one of the most ominous expressions I've ever seen on her face, and she's like, "I must show you something," and I'm like, "That's obviously not good." And what she had discovered is that while the drains are now working correctly for an undetermined amount of time, uh, two very unusual spots have started gradually leaking water. Now, there hadn't been a leak anywhere in the house previously, and I've been living here for weeks. Um, and like one of them was really confusing. It was like coming out from like under the baseboards in a part of the bathroom that like didn't have any obvious like plumbing fixtures associated with it. It wasn't like the wall that the toilet was installed on, or like out from under the bathroom sink or near the tub. It was like positioned to be in like almost the only spot in the bathroom where like there wouldn't be an obvious source for the water. And the other one was like it was coming out from under the kitchen sink, which is adjacent to the dishwasher that's installed there. But like it didn't seem to be coming from either of those. Like the dishwasher hadn't been run in a while because I'm still trying to like flush the gross fart water. And like the bed of it was dry, so it's not like even like a line had burst in it or something and had started like flooding water suddenly. And like nothing was coming out of like the bottom of the sink basin, and they weren't like overflowing, and the pipes didn't seem to be broken. So it's just like there's a couple educated guesses you could make, but like who knows where that water's coming from. Hello to Miss Tosi and also Castlearg. I saw you come in. I'm just on my long rant. I sort of asked chat if they wanted to hear about my bad week, and the general consensus was yes. And I'll cliff notes you at the end because some of y'all are joining midstream. But yeah, so like guy comes, he cleans out the drain more or less so that the drains work properly and that a normal shower doesn't like fill the entire tub with gross shower water. And then like mysterious water floods up from two spots where like water shouldn't be coming from, and they're not even like right next to each other. And so I call back the plumber whose number I have, the guy I originally interfaced with. And my call goes to voicemail, and I leave him a pretty detailed message about like, hey, you sent a guy out here like not that long afterwards, like kind of an emergency situation occurred. I'd love just some information on what I can do like short term to address this until we can get someone out to take a closer look at it. No response to that up to and including the next morning. So I tried calling him back the next morning and get his voicemail again, and he texts me being like, oh, I'm in a meeting, I can't talk on the phone, but what's the problem? And I tell him the problem, and he still doesn't respond at all. And so then I go to the company who sold me the house and had given me the warranty information, and I'm like, okay, so you told me this plumber guy would fix problems, and now a guy came out here and there's like a new problem. And this is also sort of when I managed to assess the fact that they were not going to cover any part of the disaster repair with their nebulous warranty that provided no information about what it covered. And so like an hour or something later, I get a call from like a different plumber, not the guy who I was supposed to talk to directly, and not the guy who had come out previously. So this guy comes out, and he's just a disaster. This man knows about as much about plumbing as I do. I don't know why he is a plumber or why you would send him. Like basically all he did was like walk around, observe that it was weird, try and come up with excuses that weren't plumbing related as to why a bunch of water would suddenly have started appearing in inappropriate places after a plumber came and did work on the house. And like none of it made any sense. And then like at a certain point, without warning me or asking my permission, he like turned off the water purifier, which was very tilting to me because if you've been following the fart water saga, you know how important it is to me to keep that thing running and to try and like flush all the bad stuff from the line. So like I don't want that thing off at all. And I don't know if it's psychosomatic, but like I have to tell you that the fart water has been worse today than it's been for like 2 weeks. I don't know if that's gonna last or if it's like just weird variants, but like it has been really bad today and it made me very upset. Why would he do that? He insisted that like he needed to like isolate the plumbing in the house to like get a sense of whether the water pressure would drop if it wasn't attached to an external line or something, which would be fine, A, if he had consulted me before doing that, and B, if he had come up with any godforsaken information. Because like, let me fast forward, at the end of the visit from this plumber, he did nothing and provided no information. He did like a bunch of this stuff, including that thing that made me upset, and then he's just standing there like, I don't know. I mean, my boss says it's probably not like a pressure leak, which is what we would think it is. And like some of the pipes in your house are copper. So I assume that it's the copper pipes like just producing condensation. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Those copper lines have been doing exactly as much work today as they've ever been. All of a sudden, like they're like threatening to flood 2 parts of my house. Like, what are you talking about? And like this is my favorite because this is the same thing that was happening last week with the stupid router extender thing, which is like, can you explain to me like why you think that's true? Because the circumstances suggest that doesn't make any sense. And he was just sort of like, I don't know. My boss says that. He says if it happens again, you should call him. I'm like, it hasn't stopped happening now because you didn't do anything. And they just left because he's useless. He absolutely sucked. So like I've gone through, I don't know, like 3 rolls of paper towels, just like soaking up water from those zones, trying to get a sense of whether it was stopping or whether it was becoming more of a problem. As of this morning, I think it stopped. I've checked multiple times, and neither location appears to be generating new water, but it doesn't give me an explanation, and no solution was made by the people who provided a warranty for work that suggested that things would work correctly. So that's great. So, in summary, extremely important paperwork was sent to the wrong address, facilitating a bunch of additional work and stress for me for no reason that I don't deserve. And then the roof work that was supposed to get done today got delayed to like probably Tuesday, but we'll see. And multiple plumbing disasters up to it, including something that will cost like maybe as much as the entire roof, depending on how things go. At that point, I will not have very much money left. How am I coping with all this? I don't know. I mean, if if you were to consult my mom for an accurate representation of my behavior over the last 48 hours, you would understand that I haven't been coping like super great. If you were to literally ask my mom how I was coping, she'd be like, he's a perfect little angel, because she'll always give me more credit than I deserve. Frankly, I'm probably doing better than I should be, but I'm not doing well. This is very, very bad. And so, as you may have noticed in the stream title, I have made no effort to try and prepare a game that isn't Cobalt Core, which is why we'll be playing Cobalt Core. I turn the music back on because I've decided we're done talking. By which I mean just me being big and just talking at you ad nauseum. Ad nauseum? That's nothing. I appreciate the sympathy. It is horrible. It's not... I do want to be clear about one thing. It isn't the case that everything is as bad as it could possibly be. It is, however, the case that nothing is going well and some things are going extremely badly. And it's the worst part of all of it is just that I've had to deal with all these things simultaneously, and I have been unable to make meaningful progress on any of them. And that's so very frustrating to me. It's a thing that's given me trouble since my last like significant job. Is just like anytime that I have to keep putting in work and making no progress, it frustrates me probably to a disproportionate degree. And so like these things individually, even the plumbing problem probably wouldn't be like full-on nightmare. The plumbing, the like having to reroute the pipe and pay thousands of dollars, that might be enough to be like a real... I mean, that one was really heartbreaking. But just the fact that like I have had to deal with all of these problems effectively every day except today. And that's not because today was a reprieve, it's because I reached a point where I couldn't make progress on any of them. Like there just wasn't anything to do today. So like today I didn't have to put in work, but instead it was just bad. Right, Kronos? I think what would annoy me the most are those warranties, right? Like, this is the thing. This is the thing. Like, I want to be clear that, like, I didn't necessarily have expectation that they would cover, like, thousands of dollars of repair for, like, you know, the benefit of a house they've already sold. But what I don't appreciate is them, like, providing this nebulous warranty just for a general concept of something that the house is currently lacking. And within the window that the warranty provides for. Someone apparently said birthday. I don't know who it was. Oh, it's Neko's mom's birthday. This does not mesh well with the menu music. It's the long one again. I don't know if the random number generator is broken, but I hope you like the long one. Chris also said that plumber is probably their buddy pretending to be a plumber. Boy, would I sure believe it, because, like, man, that guy was so useless. I have become accustomed to dealing with useless people in important jobs where I need them to be useful. Adults are bad, my brothers and sisters. But, like, dude, that plumber sucked the maximum. He like, min-maxed his way. Like, I don't know what he's good at, but he is the worst plumber possible. But yeah, like, the warranty problem is just, like, it's not like the thing I'm mad about isn't, like, how dare they not cover, like, all this expensive thing. But, like, what's the point? And, like, if you're gonna be super pedantic about what the warranty covers, don't say that the warranty just covers the drainage working correctly, because it doesn't. Like, say that it will cover, like, just say what it will cover. Like, I was sketched out by this immediately. Like, you know, they hand me a folder at closing being like, we take pride in our work or whatever. And, like, so if you have problems, like, these are the warranties that are still sort of covered. And, like, one of them just says drainage. And I have a drainage problem. And they're like, well, we'll make sure that the drainage, like, technically works. But, like, I also didn't appreciate the tone. Like, when I was, like, talking to the guy about it, he was sort of like, not only will we not cover that, but, like, it's kind of ridiculous for you to even ask. I'm like, no, it's not ridiculous for me to ask, because, like, all you wrote on the warranty is that it covers drainage. If you gave me a thorough contract that said what it did and didn't cover, and then I was, like being rude to you, assuming that you would pay this money, then, like, that would be ridiculous. But all I was like, all it says is drainage. What does that cover? And like the tone was just sort of like, you are a ridiculous person. Anyway, Cobalt Core. Now, before we can play Cobalt Core, there's something I need you to know. I don't think this was here last week. I think we all would have noticed this, but maybe I'm insane. You all or the VOD can tell me, but I'm going to put myself away for a second. Do you see what I see? Huh? I don't know when that appeared, but do you remember earlier when I made reference to making a whole window for this? God, the proportions on this are so annoying to manage between OBS and the window itself. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. Tried to click in the window and it did whatever that was. So, Makeshift, which is the same company that made that Benjamin Fox from Little Misfortune, apparently has a promotion for a Riggs plush from Cobalt Core. Now, they had something where, like, the first 200 people would also get a free Steam key for the game, but they've sold, like, 212 or something, so we missed that boat. But, I don't know, it's pretty neat to know. Considering that I have, like, a lot on my plate right now, I'm gonna have to think real hard if I'm buying this, but I have until, like, that late in next month to figure that out. But I do appreciate its existence, and also the fact that Riggs has both a gun and a little boba tea, because, like, those are things that appear in her little character box under various circumstances in the game. So for people watching this in the future, if it is like October 2024 or later, I'm afraid you've already missed out on this, but that's pretty cool, huh? Chris asks, did I try yelling at them? I've tried yelling at a few people. I have to tell you that I do try very hard not to yell at people unless they deserve it. Partially as an exercise in restraint because of the long-standing anger management issues that I have, that I really have made a lot of progress in over time, even though it doesn't always seem that way. But I've definitely I yelled a lot at the car loan people because, like, they were just so unhelpful and rude, and whatever actions they took were like the exact worst combination of things for me. It's like I had paid them a large amount of money, so like the least they could do is like send me the paperwork that I need, send it to a correct address, and not be psychotic. But instead they sent the paperwork to the wrong address, were psychotic, and also failed to notify the DMV that I had paid them a large sum of money. It's like they just did the opposite of all the things I wanted them to do. Thank you for the bits, Demolition. That's... your generosity is silly. Oh, no, you misunderstood, Kronos. It did not help with the internet lady. It made me feel a little bit better because she was the internet lady equivalent of the plumber. She did not know anything about the device that, like, was her job to know about. She was horrible. She was probably even worse than the plumber. Like, the plumber had, like, zero knowledge. She had, like, her stats were arranged such that her knowledge was definitely negative. You know how in, like, some versions of D&D, if your, like, int score is low enough, your character is, like, functionally illiterate or, like, can't even, like, communicate with other characters? Like, that's like, roughly what we're talking about. Should cover tax and shipping and handling. You don't need to do that, Devolution. I just wanted people to... everyone loves Riggs. I just wanted people to know about Riggs. I wanted to tell the world about the Can Eat More. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to go back in this menu so that I can make a big screen. But thank you, Demolition. I appreciate that. Also, hello to Neko. And let's finally play Cobalt Core. It's only been 40 minutes. I said it would be the short version, and I lied to you. So what are we doing today? That's right, we made a zero deck. I forgot all about it. this is our super spicy build. We traded our artifact that, like, gives you a baseline of useful stuff, movement, and shield for one of the worst artifacts that I'm aware of, which makes you... It lets you draw extra cards every turn, but also makes you take cards every time you could possibly take cards and gives you fewer options. So you have to have... Oh god, the screen got weird again. I guess because I embiggened after making it small. Give me a sec, I'll fix it. Which one am I using? This one? Unlock. Move. Shrinky dink. Zoink? I think that's right. Is the left side okay? I think that's right. Got called in on your day off and have to be up at 5 a.m. tomorrow? Ask Raphael Cadius. Oh, one more anecdote about my week. I definitely had forgotten that Monday is a holiday in the US, and was really excited about it. But then also forgot that typically for that holiday, my company gives us like 4 hours off on the Friday before. So I worked like an extra hour and a half today. Yeah, I'm doing real good over here. I'm on top of my stuff. Alright, so yeah, we got like a bunch of zero cost cards. I apparently made all of my basic cards cost 0, which is kind of ridiculous. I gained a card that lets us increase our killing power because we have lots of zero cost attacks and things. Yeah, we also just have some random garbage, but we have this cool card, Zero Draw A, which lets us draw back all the zero cost cards in our discard, which is like a good number of our deck. Anyway, we're like mostly towards the end of this run, so we may still get like a full run in tonight. I don't know. Alright, so do we have the cockpit weakening thing? There we go. Oh man, hype train success. I have received... What is this? A cat eating all of the things? Someone decipher this for me. Mega consume. No, that's like just an anime person, I think. I think they're eating a spoon. There's like a bunch of food, but also like a spoon. Thanks for the hype train and to Demolition for funding a Riggs plushie. Okay, so we got basic attacks. Let's do overpower. We got lots of zero cost attacks. We're not taking any damage because we have an artifact that just threw a rock in the way of the only thing that would hit us. And then, I don't know, I guess I could make a new mana rock and some temporary shield that doesn't do anything. Why did I take burn damage? Why is my heat high? Did I even play a heat card? Oh, I still have this, don't I? Well, luckily I have Heat Wave, which also increases my killing power and decreases my dying power. Oh, that's right. I forgot that I have a thing that doubles my first zero cost card. That's why I did like 2 attacks with 1 card before. So let's get a free move and a free block, and I guess we'll do free crystal. Well, we paid 1 for it, but now we're gonna zero draw. And look at all the stuff we have! So let's, can I kill you this turn? Heat Wave. Draw a card. Man, these zero cost attacks are doing 5. I think you're dead, brother. Whoops. Okay, now I have to take one of these cards. So I can take Exothermic Release, which does a piercing damage and reduces my heat by a lot, which isn't super helpful. Or I can take another Mining Drill, which is okay. It's basically a zero-cost attack under the right circumstances. Oh, that's good. My mom got a hype train emote that was like a ninja dodging a bunch of lasers or something. That's pretty cool. Now I got an artifact. Heat can be reduced to -3. Oh, you better believe that's happening, whether I like it or not. I have way more like heat reduction than heat build. No, it's true. My mom did yell at the super stupid plumber for shutting off the water purifier, which is fair. I was trying to be civil with him because I wanted him to give me an explanation as to why my house was leaking, and then he didn't, and I was more mad at him. Don't like that guy. That brings us to Grandma's Bakery and Weapons Market. Murder Scone. Ooh. Hang on. This isn't the one... At first, I thought this was the one that lets you, like, upgrade things to, like, a higher rarity. I kind of just want to use this to get rid of From Hell's Heart. This card is not good for our build at all. It's the only card in the whole deck that, like, doesn't feel like it's actually on purpose. Which I'm honestly pretty impressed with myself for managing that. It is weird, though, that the options are like, do you want weapons or baked goods? And then the dialogue options are baked goods or garbage. It's just not quite right. Did the plumber achieve anything helpful? That one did not. He, like, literally came in, made a bunch of excuses, made some, like, wild guesses that, like, weren't consistent with reality, turned off the water purifier for a bit, talked loudly outside my window while I was trying to work, came in, told us nothing, and left. That was it. Dude absolutely sucked. Because as all things considered, Coughing looks really pleased this week. Look, I know that I've been putting Coughing on the side of my desk a lot. He's just bringing me joy in a dark time. So I'm sorry for repeat friend, but like, Coughing is a good friend for the table because I look at him and he makes me smile because he's so happy. Let's get rid of this card I don't want. Let's do a boss battle. Are we good against this guy? I think we're fine against this guy. I think we're going to... Oh, that's fun. Let's do Mana Rock. Let's scoot over to their weak spot. Toggle the cannon. Overpower. It's the first zero-cost card I played, and why did it not double? It probably doubled and did something stupid. I don't entirely remember how this game handles max hand size. I believe there's a maximum hand size of about 10. But I think it just like stops you from drawing at a certain point. This hand is kind of bad, to be honest with you. I think what I would like to do, and it won't work the way I want it to, for sure, is that I want to use dice roll multiple times and have math.max left over to draw into cards that suck less than the cards currently in my hand. So I'm going to move one. And then I think I'm going to mining drill. Do I want the extra damage or the... I'm at max shards, so I should do extra damage. And then... dice roll. Okay. Now the question is... I mean, if I dice roll one more time, then I basically have a 1 in 3 each. No, it's not quite, because dice roll, like, counts itself. Oh, I'm not running those odds. It would literally be a dice roll as to whether I get a good result. Like, even if I discard the dice roll itself, as long as I keep math in hand, then I'm in good shape. But if I don't, then this turn is awful. So it's probably the case... Hang on. The rest of my deck costs not extremely much. I think I'm gonna... Crystal to thin my hand a little. I guess it's neutral. Whatever. Math. Okay. 0 cost. We have enough shard for a bloodstone bolt, so let's do that. Spacer. Basic shot. How many dice rolls can I do without discarding 0 draw, do you think? How many? What? I mean, the problem is, if I don't thin out my hand first, I can really only draw like 2 0-cost cards? That's not very good. This is the spicy run after all. Well, it discarded itself, which isn't ideal. But I drew it back again, which is sort of fine. Just play a bunch of stuff that costs 0. We're gonna get there, maybe. I don't know. I can't play the 2 cost. I could play Bloodstone Bolt. It will harm me. Hang on a second. I guess because I have armor on this space from one of my artifacts, I'm only taking 3 and I have shield for that. So I'm better off doing nothing from this point. But that was a turn, huh? Why am I gaining heat? Oh, that's right. I forgot I think this was like at the very end of last week's stream. I get extra energy every turn, but I get extra heat. But it's fine because I have like all these ways to like get rid of heat. Can't really move, huh? It's a little awkward. Let's do basic shot, which gets doubled, right? That's how stuff works. And then I guess I'll just shoot you for 4? Great. Alright, I have to take one of these. Avid Reader A for 1. Attack for 3 damage. Must have played 3 cards this turn. It's not an extremely good reward, but we're reasonably likely to be able to play it as a 1 energy 3 damage. On the other hand, Seer does piercing? I forget if the final boss has... I think it has shield, but not shield recovery? I'm just gonna take Avid Reader. I think it's a little more in line with what we're doing. Get a Crystal Shard on the first turn of combat. Or every 4th turn gain Overdrive. Or the one that cares about shuffling your deck, which our deck is too big for that to really matter, even with all the 0 cost and some card draw. I think it's probably Grimoire. Oh, that's true. I did forget to mention that there was a bee's nest in construction under my mailbox. I didn't tell my mom this. She went to tremendous effort to acquire an appropriate means of destroying the bee's nest and dealing with it while I was in the midst of all these things going on. When I went to check the mail today, there was like 1 bee that came back to the like honeycomb they were building under there. So I got the spray out again and took them out. I don't know if others are gonna come back though. Like, it's probably not an issue long term, but it may need a couple more treatments. I mean, Overcharger and Grimoire are both good. I feel like we're generally moving quickly enough that waiting 4 turns for overdrive isn't it? I'm gonna take Grimoire. I got one more shot, and I don't remember what I plan to do with it. Do I have something that can be made to cost 0? Oh, wait. I can just make overpowered, not exhaust is always fun. Not terribly bothered by these spacer upgrades. None of these cost 0. You can upgrade Bloodstone Bolt so that it only requires 1 shard to heal back, but for this last battle, I don't think that matters too much either. Oh, that's right, I can make math cost 0. Yeah, I think I want that. Let's do that. This thing's already upgraded. Does die roll upgrade do anything useful? Extra damage, but I think it's fine as it is, to be honest. Overpower is fun, but I think 0 math is better for what we're doing. I seem to be having a stroke. Did I get that card upgraded? Is it already upgraded? Oh, it was already upgraded. Oh, I'm stupid. Well, in that case, that leaves us with Dice Roll and Overpower. Overpower is just more fun. I don't know. Alright, last battle. We still haven't gotten a name for the last sector after all this time. I would just like to point out to no one who cares. I don't have any movement, which I don't love. I guess I'm not taking damage here, and I can probably concuss this thing. Let's do... Yeah, let's start here. This is actually a pretty rough turn, because I can't move. I got a temp shield. But if I spend 0 to toggle my cannon to shoot at that other point, I like miss out on the double 0 anyway. Let's do one of these and one of these. And then I think at this point it's fine to just fire off. No, you know what? I'll see if I could double the 7 damage at the start of some turn when I'm in a better position. Oh, actually, I guess I still have energy left after all of that, so I can heat sink out of the way of the damage. Hooray! Like I said, it's National Cinema Day. All cinema tickets are £4, which is less than half price. That's exciting. What did you see? I saw a headline this week that was like, due to lack of competition, Deadpool and Wolverine is expected to be top of the box office again. I'm like, that's an interesting way of putting that. I mean, like, today being tomorrow because of time zones. So you're planning to see Coraline in 3D and maybe the new Alien film that would probably suck being due to it being owned by Disney. I don't know. I have no faith in Alien. Like, I saw both Prometheus and what's the one that came after Prometheus that like was barely even like billed as an Alien movie? Yeah, Covenant. Those were not great. Prometheus is okay. It has some good ideas, but like it executed them kind of weird. Covenant I thought was just like pretty bad. Like it kind of had bad ideas and executed them worse. It was just like a full step down. Yeah, to be honest, I know that I do have hornets around here. I thought the ones on the mailbox looked a little different, but I have seen at least 2 different types of hornets. And I'll be honest with you that I didn't get super close to them to figure it out. So I don't know if they were literal bees or categorical bees, but I can't have like a stinging nest on my mail. There's like important documents like coming all the time. But like, yeah, I don't know. I've heard like at least medium things about Romulus, the new Alien movie, but like just the fact that it seems like it's all based on face huggers and that it's like more, it looks like it's more of like a fast zombie kind of horror movie. It just doesn't look like it's for me. Draw a card. Mage hand, okay. So let's toggle and shoot, and we should what zeros do we have already? Block, attack, attack, increase damage, attack, shard, shard, shard. I got options. So I think we'll roll the dice. Hope not to discard 0 draw. Okay, discarded dice roll, which is not great either. But my options are that I could spend 1 energy and a shard to do 5 damage, or have like a pretty good shot of doing better than that with 0 cost cards. Yeah, that's all pretty good. So let's do more killing power, and then we're at -1 heat, which is good. Let's get a free block in there. I think we're reasonably likely to draw more shard stuff, and we'll get shards from this. So let's spend the shard this turn to do extra damage. And then I think we just dice roll until we discard dice roll. Because again, I'd like to draw this at the start of a turn where I can double it up. Well, I keep discarding it first, which is embarrassing, but you know, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I would like to discuss that tomorrow. I don't suggest maybe we finally see Deadpool and Wolverine, which I would like to see. And I've not done. Oh, good, I have trash. It matches my personality. Wow, his hand itself is trash. Double trash, double heat sink. Cannon toggle? Yikes. Forever and ever. Until the end of time. Woof. Much can I move with all that heat? And I have all this, like, stupid energy I can't use? God, it's just so embarrassing in here. So I have 2 movement. I mean, I might as well, like, negative heat sink, I think. So I could move 2 more and take, like, none damage. I think I'm actually just going to take this on the chin here to save the movement, because we're at, like, full health and it's the final boss. Ugh. This is not a good hand either. I feel like this deck is full of good hands, and we've drawn like none of them against this boss. I mean, I think I'm just gonna, like, Bloodstone Bolt, even though I'm, like, definitely going to harm myself. Just because, like, doing the extra damage seems worth it. Considering how long I expect this fight to go on. So we get free block, which counteracts the damage we took a little bit. Math? It's not especially good math. So what I want to do here... Let's do... It opens you up to take an extra damage this turn, but I'm going to toggle cannon because I'll do more damage over here. Probably should have given consideration to that earlier. Almost missed the fact that I had Heat Wave in hand for free. That's good. So let's do 4. And then I think I'm spending as much shard as possible here. So let's do 4 and 4, and I guess we'll do Avid Reader just to give space for more zero-cost cards so I can increase my killing power again, and then draw a new card, and then basic shot. Yeah, at that point I was like gonna extremely super kill them. You are growing stronger. Who shall it be? It'll be Max, apparently? I think we set that up on purpose, but we have only the option of Max. So, you can see into our future... You can see into our souls and read our minds or whatever, right? Yes. Then why bother talking to us? Why not do it telepathically? Anything but the slightest telepathic influence would annihilate your soul. Souls are real? Yes. And they can be annihilated? Very much so. Sick. Well, thanks for not doing that. Your gratitude is noted. Oh man, we still have to do another Max memory? What a bummer for me. Hey Max, I found your thumb drive on the ground in the core control room. We still use thumb drives like millions of years in the future or whatever. Very good. I put that there. You passed my test. Right. The thumb drive could have been full of viruses. Don't worry, though. I plugged it in to check. Sorry, bud. I gotta report this to security breach to Perry. Ah, crud. She'll never let me do my cool experiments. Cool experiments? Well, the core does weird things sometimes. Weird how? It emits signals I can't make sense of, and they change over time. Really? I just upgraded Cat with some pattern recognition capabilities. Correct. How can I assist? We could plug her into the core. I'm listening. So it wasn't just Riggs responsible. There were multiple pieces to the puzzle. Interesting. So we need Max, Perry, and Dizzy memories, and that's it. Alright, chat, what would you like to see? Not sure. We may have time for a full run depending on how spicy it is, to be honest with you. Well, whose memory would you like to get? The ones we need are these 3, right? Dizzy's the 3rd one. And we have 1 Perry and 1 Max. And yeah, 2 Dizzy. I mean, I don't know. Want to go after Perry? Can do that. Who do we pair with Perry? And what ship do we use? I forgot the Gemini existed. Let's use the Gemini. We haven't done that in a minute. We also haven't done the Tide Rider or whatever. That thing sucks. Now, I don't know. Part of me says maybe we get this character once we've unlocked all the memories or something. Maybe it's Cat. Maybe the last character is Cat all along or something. Yeah, this looks good. Ship we haven't used in a while. Devilish had named 3 characters. Yeah. Remove a card and then gain one of 3 common cards. Increase max hull or random rare card. Removing a card with Riggs is kind of fun because I do hate Scramble, like, a lot. But what would you rather see? Us start with a random common card and, like, not have to draw Scramble? Or draw a random rare, which could be amazing, but most likely is garbage. Yeah, I figured rare would probably win out. 0 draw. Okay. That's an interesting place to start. It's not very good right now. Hey, kid. Hi, what's up, Miss Perry? Why aren't you cryosick like the rest of us? I drink 8 glasses of hydration protein a day. I see. The only ingredient is water. If anyone ever hurts you, I will destroy them with my own hands. Cool. Basic swap. Basic swap. So how does this thing work? Whenever you play a card, you toggle the active cannon and missile bay. So if I like unpolished crystal, then I can draw shot you, and then I can shard, and then I can... No, I'm thinking of this as where my cannon is, but if I lunge, I will miss. So I guess I can use Mage Hand. That'll deal damage and also prevent the damage incoming. Stupid Scramble. Alright. Let's start with Shard. Multi-shot. I'm gonna move, draw shot. I guess I'll take the move back. I think I'm gonna need it. Blech. I'm really not paying attention to myself in frame as much as I should be. I don't know if you heard for 40 minutes, but my week has been bad, and I've just not been able to focus on anything other than the lowest tier of Maslow's hierarchy of needs or whatever. The food pyramid for your brain. This hand is not so good. So I'm gonna move and Mage Hand. And then, like, lunge. And then I can't really do anything. I'm gonna multi-shot and then gain a dodge to toggle back and then draw shot into a crystal shard, which draws something I can't play. Multi-shot, draw shot, Mage Hand. The mission says the USA is either skipping or significantly shifting National Cinema Day to October. Well, first off, I've fallen for this trick before, but with Neko living in the UK, their National Cinema Day may be a different National Cinema Day than ours. Because it's like Mother's Day. Their Mother's Day is at a different time than our Mother's Day. But also, I've never heard of US National Cinema Day, to be honest with you. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, I just never heard of it. These cards are not good. I mean, Juke costs 0, but is bad. I think I want none of this. Meteor's like okay, but with like Riggs around, we should theoretically be in a reasonable position to have some move. Probably want to take the shop path early to start upgrading some of our basic cards to cost 0, so they work with 0 draw. And then at a certain point, we'll hopefully hit a critical mass of 0 drawable cards to want to upgrade 0 draw to cost less. Upgrade. I think I want to upgrade the basic cards that aren't attack related first. With the idea being I can fire them off cheaply and reposition the cannons as needed. We're moving our date out of sync with the UK, possibly to help out Beetlejuice. That would be such a specific thing to do. What evidence is there of that? Why are you in my face shield, drone? My dad's not a cell phone. Draw shot. Dodge. Multi-shoot. Crystal for later. Doo-doo-doo. Draw a card. It wasn't a good one. I just shuffled my deck and can't get anything with 0 draw, huh? Yeah. I think I will spend... a move, which I guess allows me to just shoot and block. How did I draw shot off draw shot with only one copy of draw shot in my deck? I think I understand how that could happen, but like that's unlikely and weird. I have like very little to draw off draw shot that would be useful at this point. So I think I'd be better off doing like dodge mage hand. It's a good team configuration as far as I'm concerned. I kind of like the core 3, but like Books does some cool stuff, and having 0 draw early is actually pretty good. So shard to reposition cannon, multi-shot. I got 2 left over. I'll just like tank this incoming drone shot and prepare to kill the next turn. Dodge for free and blow them up. What's new with anyone else that isn't all the horrible stuff I related earlier? Now or never. Gain 3 move. What's the exclamation mark? Lose all evade next turn. That's bad. Avid Reader. Attack for 3 damage. Must have played 4 cards this turn. Likely do I think it is that we'll get back to that. I mean, we're incentivized to go 0 cost again. So it's not, like, completely unreasonable. Weaken Hold doesn't... Well, I don't know. I guess you could argue that if our plan is to make all the other cards in our deck cost 0, Weaken Hold gains some additional value. Of just, like, you can spend your 3 energy doing that, and then still do a bunch of stuff with cards that cost 0. I don't know. Avid Raider just feels like it's more like what I want. Nothing much. Was done work on the 16th for the most part and just lounged around. For what period of time, Demolition? Like forever? You just finished all work on the 16th? That's pretty good work if you could get it. Dead or alive, baby! Alright, one of my cannons is facing their weak spot. Let's make it happen, Captain. Probably should have shot him, huh? Lunge is not useful, so I won't lunge. I'll instead take hull damage. Oh, let's see about Avid Reader, huh? It's looking promising. You know, it's weird with this deck. It's in early stages, but I'm like trying to lean towards zero cost cards. I definitely feel like I need more energy all the time. Much like in real life. Oh, I see. So you just focus your schedule to get things done as soon as possible instead of padding stuff out? Yeah. I mean, you can, depending on who your boss is, you can, like, get in trouble for that, which is admittedly very stupid. So if I draw a card, it could be anything. Even something that costs 0. It's not, but it could have been. Did I just take a bunch of damage for, like, basically no reason? Yes, but also I don't have a lot of defensive options right now. Power play. Permanently increase damage that you do to everything. Take direct hull damage. Front-loaded blast. Attack for 4 damage, add 3 fumes. Absolutely not. I hate this garbage. I also don't like these, like, random move juke maneuvers. I mean, in fairness, I haven't really played with them, but I feel like just from the nature of the fact that, like, a lot of cards that have move built into them will, like, specifically have you move right, and, like, at least half the time I'm like, that's, like, super bad, and I'd rather not, like, get the other benefit of that card. I mean, it's a little interesting. I feel like we definitely would want to aim for an artifact that, like, heals us if given choices. It's not good, but it's interesting, and I'll take it. If you end your turn with more than 0 energy, gain a shield. Now, that's something we might be able to do in this build. I don't know if we'd want to, but we might be able to. Frankly, these other options I don't think are super good for us. Piercer sounds like really good in theory, but I find it's usually just okay. Because if only one of your attacks is piercing per turn, then any other attacks you make have to go into their shield anyway. And a lot of the things that it would matter for have, like, a lot of shield and a lot of health, so you just end up shipping away most of the, both of them most cases. So we'll try the ion converter. I'm not sure it'll be, like, super useful. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna aim for an artifact that hopefully heals me. Oh, this is gonna be bad, isn't it? Draw a shot. Dodge. Shoot him. Swap. Honestly, like, just, I'm gonna spend my move. I don't like doing it, but I think I'd rather. I've already taken, like, a bunch of hull damage. This turn does not look good. Actually, if I lunge, they'll go away, right? So I can block and then do nothing. I guess I could have 0 drawn there, but hey, extra energy, extra shield. See what I did there? All right, let's. 3 dodge, draw shot. Honestly, since I can't hit them anyway, I think I'd rather just like... Well, I guess I could spend 2 energy on 0 draw to get 1 evade, or just played scramble and be conceptually mad about it. Because I just dislike that card so much. This is actually kind of interesting. So if I... How does this status work? It always confuses me. Fire on it will move completely out of the way right. So I think the way this works is if I toggle cannon to left, shoot them once, then this part will move directly in front of me, so my other cannon will be facing it like head on. So I can like something attack and then like multi-shot to hit them directly this turn. So like probably block, mage hand, multi-shot. Now the thing I guess I didn't take into account there at all is the fact that now it's going to shoot me for 4. But I do have shield for that, but it's going to shoot me for 4. The mission says, I'm the guy who took my manager's new task we learned on Thursday, on something we were supposed to start back in April. Got shown her sheet, she literally just copy-pasted an older sheet with names that are bad and out of alphabet. Took the sheet, added a names column for all of us, added top-down level frozen roll that scales, scrolling, added a notes column. Yeah, I mean, took her, now type this URL into your browser window, guide of an hour down to 4 minutes. I can believe that. Oh, they're not dodging this turn. That's good for me. Because they're dead now. That's what happens when you're not constantly dodging. Alright, do I want any of this? Currently, what's my usage of shards? Just mage hand? What are the upgrades to the battery? 2 shard to get an energy. You know what? This seems like a fun time to try this out. It costs 0, gives us something to do with shards. Oh. I guess I'll go after the boss. Gain 1 energy every time you spend 3 energy playing a card. Well, it would have been good to know yesterday. Now, Neko, before you left earlier, you said you wanted to rid yourself of the smell of soup. What happened there exactly? Did you, like, accidentally make soup in your bathtub, bathe in the soup, and then you're like, oh no, I meant to have a regular bath, and now I'm having a soup bath? Crystal. Shard. Shoot. Mage shoot? Do I want to draw or save this draw for later? I guess I can't do anything with the draw, so why would I use it now? Draw shot? Oh god. I always fall for this every time. I need more movement. I see. Once again, I can't really do anything with the swap, so I'll just discard it. It's a natural consequence of cooking with onions. See, I wouldn't know that because I don't cook and I hate onions. All the steam from the aromatics clings to your hair and clothes. You spend the rest of the day smelling delicious whether you want to or not. Well, that's subjective in that onions are a punishment for humanity looking at the earth for things to eat, I guess. I don't know. I would not say that this is a particularly good hand, but at least they're not trying to shoot me back, although I'm also positioned in such a way that if they were, I wouldn't be punished for it. Do I want to use Shard for damage now? I'm gonna say no, because I could just attack. This run isn't going super well. Dodge. Block, I guess. Lord. It sucks here. It's really bad. Why would I even move? I can't get out of the way. That's very frustrating. So my 0 is just dodge right now. If safety override was in my discard pile and I played 0 draw, do you think this symbol would count as 0, add it to my hand, and cause me to fire? I feel like it wouldn't, but kind of interested in the concept, at least. I guess I'm just gonna lunge and block and cry. Ugh, the status always. This is a really difficult encounter for me because I don't have a lot of defense. Oh god, that's exactly what I didn't want to draw. It was like the only card I planned to draw this turn, and it was like the worst thing I could draw. I mean, if I even like try to shoot them, I'm just actually going to die. Where are all my attacks this turn? Jerk butt. Alright, let's turn all our shard into energy, I guess. So I need block. And then lunge. And then avid reader. Well, I'm at 2. Endless magazine, huh? It doesn't exactly... Well, hang on. Yeah, the chip shot exhausts itself right away. So it's not even like the remainder of the battle I could like 0 draw into the chip shots for like a bunch of damage. I like Endless Magazine, but I think it's better in like a defensive deck where it gives you like inevitability. That's not what we're doing. I'm not entirely sure what we're doing. It's clearly not working very well. Premeditation, you get some pre-move. Jumper cables. Well, that's fun, isn't it? Caffeine rush. Every time you discard your discard pile is shuffled back in your draw pile, gain an evade. Just a little boba. I mean, it really should be jumper cables for multiple reasons. One, we're very close to dead, and jumper cables gives us temporary shield, even if it's only the first turn of each battle. But also, we did take power play and have completely failed to draw into anything that actually heals us hull damage, which is what I had hoped for. So we played that card none times and still find ourselves at the verge of death. So I'm just going to take the one that maybe helps us live a little longer. God, that already looks bad. His hand looks bad too. Crystal shard. Woo! This is not going well. I think I'm supposed to play Magi Battery for no value so that I can play Avid Reader on their weak spot. But I want to actually see something about how this works. Okay. Because I couldn't fulfill the entire cost requirement, it didn't spend any of the shard. I wasn't totally sure how that would work. I wasn't sure if it was gonna, like, try and fail. God, this is so bad. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm going to Kersplode. I think I have to, like, lunge, move back, and then, like, shoot or something? It's just so bad here. That's so bad. I guess at least I can, like, mage hand to have more shield. I hate scrambles so much. And yeah, I'm definitely playing like scramble and block this turn because like moving in any direction like gets me dead. Okay, let's do draw shot into multi-shot on the weak spot into shard into lunge, I guess, arguably. Like, I could mage hand, but it's almost like a little wasteful for the shard. Whatever. We'll see how quickly I die. I guess I take 3 damage. For some reason I thought I was going to take the same amount of damage either way. This was probably worse. I mean, like, basic shot to clear 1, multi-shot to progress to my inevitable demise. I don't know, lunge? How is it that all of my draws are bad? Just kidding, I know the answer to that. Woof. Yeah. Shard? Raw shot? It's just so bad here. I think it's like dodge, mage hand. Oh no, they're low enough that I can kill them with Avid Reader. I gotta tell you, this deck is bad and I feel bad. Thinking B. I mean, it exhausts itself. It's just, I don't think it's gonna do it. Also, I think I've demonstrated over time that I just don't have things in my deck I want to draw right now, which is problematic. I mean, I could heal, but honestly, I think long-term I'm legitimately better off upgrading probably basic block so that I have, like, things I actually want to draw into on a regular basis that, like, also will help me short-term. With this fight, that will almost definitely get me killed, don't worry about it. Oh, it's the expanding one. And me without any armor for this multi-attack core thing. Well... Looks like it's time for me to hit the old dusty trail. Oh, that's right. If I hit this thing with multi-shot, the second shot hits, or misses rather, because I break it apart on the first one. Let's, shard. Multi-shot. Draw shot. Guess I'll just leave basic swap in there for now. Alright, there goes the safety turn. Block. Basic shot, I guess. Don't exactly have a lot of value that I can do with this zero draw, but that's okay. Oh boy. Sure. Let's dodge for free, and then multi-shot, and then I don't know, scramble? Like what what am I doing over here? Am I sitting on my cable? You better believe it. Am I making it worse by trying to solve it? You better believe it. What? Missed that message. Neko says she loves her brother, but annoyingly he invited my dad over to the flat today. Been a bit upset. Usually the case after any amount of contact with my dad. I definitely know people like that. I am sorry for the invasion, especially into your home. Like that's rough. I mean, the psychic invasion is kind of just unavoidable to a certain extent, especially once other people take that out of your hands. But like, it sucks for the safe place to be compromised in that way. Well, I mean, just like scramble, like it just sucks here, brother. It's bad. Shard. Power play. Power play is thus far proven to be a horrific choice. I don't really have anything that lets me make use of the mana I can finally generate off the battery, which is great. Love that. I mean, I think basically we're like, for sure, Mage Hand and block. And I guess like basic shot Avid Reader, and then like moving one so our shield isn't completely depleted. I mean, I guess we're not being hit this turn. I'm just like looking at this in frustration and disappointment. Let's draw. It's not better. What can I draw into? My whole deck has to be better than my hand, right? Yeah, it more or less is. I do hate Scramble, for the record. Woof. Yeah, I mean, I think I just shoot twice. That's so bad. Oh, that doesn't look good at all. Draw. Free movement. Shoot. Mage Hand, which gives me a shield in addition to damage. Lunge, which will take out a crystal. Let's add another block for free and move ourselves so we take 1 damage instead of 3. Multi-shot. Draw shot. Is lunge good again? Lunge is probably good. Is there a way for me to get another shard so that I could then play Avid Reader? No. It seems like every card I've taken is currently really bad. They could still be good, but we have to not die. It's seeming really hard to do that. Not impossible. I think we can. It's just unpleasant. It's just pretty unpleasant. So I guess I'd want to... Well, I don't know. It would take... I think we kind of want to do what we did last turn and like lunge and then scoot to take like 1 damage instead of more than 1 damage. So we should probably toggle twice, lunge once. Now I'm actually paying attention to the width of our ship. We're taking 2 no matter what, I guess. So this wasn't very good use of resources. Could have done some extra damage. Oh, that looks awful. That looks very bad. I need to do 6 damage. I mean, I think I have to, like, go all in on this turn, right? Would there be a way... I guess I could, like, scramble out of here? Let's use the battery so I can 0 draw, because like my whole graveyard is the maximum value I can hope to get off that. And it like puts the Magi battery back in my hand to start charging or whatever. 2. I could take the 2 now. Yeah, I'll take the 2 now. Oh, that's so bad. Alright, shard. Oh, it's so bad. No, I need to do 7 now? I should at least be able to technically live through this turn. We do, like... lunge for sure. Probably want to do Mage Hand. I like can't like use these cards. No, wait a minute. This does 4, so if I just spend the 1 movement... Nope, that's not how math works. Okay, well, I'll go to 1 then, I guess. Oh, I forgot about the shield. That's what I did. Because I gained, like, 1 shield on that turn. Die? Well, that was, harrowing. Oh, these are some choices. I don't know about hand cannon. I mean, arguably hand cannon's kind of a combo with 0 draw once it's sort of like getting online. We're not really there. Ace costs like $1 trillion. It's just too expensive. I've never really found a deck where I actually want to play Ace. It's a cool thing and all. Now, Corey's actually a little interesting. Because with Corey... we're more likely to be able to like regularly activate the mage battery and just get more energy. I don't know how useful that will be, but it sounds interesting. Simplicity. Remove 3 cards. Ooh, a Gemini upgrade. Have I seen this before? When your left cannon is active, attacks do +1 damage. When your right cannon is active, you stun and do -1 damage. I don't think I like that. I don't know that I like any of these. I mean, I could take Simplicity and remove most of the cards that I've chosen, which, as depressing as it is to say out loud, I think makes my deck, like, a lot better. And these other options, like, aren't very good, so let's get rid of Scramble, for sure. And then... probably Power Play. I mean, it was a little ambitious, but, like, boys, it definitely hasn't worked out. But then, I'm not sure about the last one here. Draw Shot I think I want, because, like, if we do manage to get more zero-cost things, it, like, cycles through options. Basic Swap isn't super essential, really. It helps with Avid Reader, or we could get rid of Avid Reader because it's relatively complicated to activate and the payoff isn't, like, amazingly high. What's the other version of this? Just does 1 more damage? This card isn't actually that good, huh? Maybe I just get rid of it? And then I'll just have, like, Battery, my starting deck minus Scramble, and 0 draw? I've had worse ideas. Zoom! Straight to Sector Tomb! Oh yeah, I still have jumper cables. Well then, this seems like a great turn to waste 2 energy building up Shard for the rest of the battle. And gain some shield for later. Ah, my Squeedly Spooch. Let's draw... Yeah, at some point I should probably, like, do a thing, huh? Let's do... add Shard, spend Shard on Mage Hand, play the Shard card, and then apparently dodge for free. Block for free. Oops, that was bad ordering. Well... draw. Shard, dodge. I mean, I'm getting like 1 damage in otherwise, so yeah, I guess I'll just like gain more resources. Go Team Venture. Pass. Yeah, let's do, don't have Shard in the discard. Pew Pew. Mage Hand, I think. Lunge. Yeah, it seems good. So, you all should start making suggestions for stuff that you might like to see for Halloween. have a list somewhere that I haven't really curated in a minute of stuff that like was in consideration for the last like 2 years that didn't make it on. I more or less promised Neko that we would play Franbo, which is sort of the spiritual predecessor to Little Misfortune. Halloween Donuts. I mean, Halloween Donuts is contingent on them actually releasing them. Now, they really dragged their feet like last year as well, and they did eventually release them, but like, as far as I know, they still haven't announced them. So the order of operations is that I should battery first, then shard and draw, then shoot and draw, then apparently drew battery off of that. Draw again. I guess I just play everything other than Mage Battery again. Probably move out of the way of the attack. Like we've banked 2 of those Dark Pictures Anthology style games. One literally and one that's just in the same style, I think. Being The Devil Inside Me and Quarry, respectively. The Quarry. Someone in chat at some point said The Quarry was bad, in a way that they expected would dissuade me from playing it. Perhaps that person is new. I definitely play a lot of bad games historically. Oh, I just need a multi-shot. It's closer than I thought to them being dead. Alright, well, it's... Oh, good. Now I draw Battle Repair now that I finally got rid of the thing that damages me for value. Oh, I could get Avid Reader back. Or I could just skip. I'll be mad at you. Game. Probably rather go this way to at least have the option to try and get multiple artifacts. And, like, the same number of general benefits of, like, question marks and shops and things. Is anyone else getting a really bad headache? No, it's from that high-pitched static. Ah, you all again. What shall I teach you this time? Obtain a Riggs card, a Parry card, or a Books card. Books is maybe a little more likely to have something that starts at 0 costs. Riggs is generally more likely to have stuff that draws and isn't terrible. I don't know, Parry's just good. I generally like Parry stuff. I feel like we need more. We're kind of balanced. It might be nice to have access to like a little more. Well, we're not really going to get more shield probably, but maybe more movement, which would probably come from Riggs. I think it's between Riggs and Books. I don't think we need more firepower right now, which is like the main thing I'd expect to get from parrying. Hey, evasive shot. That's like kind of exactly what I want. Could do bolt. I mean, bolt can be upgraded to just be a different upgraded evasion. Oh, I see this is already upgraded. Yeah, I think I want a evasive shot a little bit. Shop. Upgrade. What are the 2 damage or 2 of 2? Wait. Oh, I see. 2 damage, 1 evade, or 2 damage, 2 evade, and get rid of it. I played Alien Isolation on stream many years ago to the point that, like, it crashed my PS4, I think, and then I had to, like, save part of the stream so I'd have access to the file later, and it's, like, the only, like, featured video on my Twitch channel somehow as a result of that. It is a good game that I do not enjoy at all. Is observation different from observation duty? I know of observation duty. I don't know that I know of something called specifically observation or observer. No, not bad memories. Just like, I knew going into that I wasn't going to like that game. Because it's like... It's the kind of game... Like, you have to like a specific type of horror gameplay to enjoy playing it. And, like, I just don't. I don't like the thing where, like, you're super helpless and you spend the whole game being, like, preyed on. Like, I get how that's appealing to people, but, like... I had similar complaints about, like, Horizon Zero Dawn, where, like, the impression I got from all the trailers was, like, you were going to be some sort of, like, tech genius hunter super person. And, like, you kind of just seem like a gal, like, just a lady with tools. And so, like, big robots, like, stomp on your face and, like, grind you into the ground. I'm like, I don't really enjoy how difficult this seems. Like... And, like, Alien's kind of like a similar sensation of, like, the environment's super cool, but, like, like, the only things you can do are, like, run away and, like, hope it doesn't happen to, like, spot you at times when you, like, can't help but be vulnerable. Like, it's just, it's not for me. I don't like that. Like, I've watched it, and it's, like, a great game for people who are into it, but, like, boy, do I not enjoy it at all. Observation. A space station computer helps during a weird event. Observer. Horror in a tiny apartment complex in near-future Poland. That sounds like that could either be great or terrible. Observation duty. Yeah, I know of the observation duty games, and, like, they're... I don't hate the premise of them. Like, they're not as far outside of my wheelhouse as something like Alien Isolation is. But, like, I don't know, it's a little heavy on stuff like jump scares, and, like, it really drives into something that causes me anxiety, which is, like, you know that, like, the number of paranormal things are escalating at a certain point because you get, like, certain warnings from the game, and, like, you're still not finding them, and it's like, that just feels really frustrating. Well, you can upgrade basic swap to just not go away. That's kind of fun. I mean, I'd like to do that, but it probably makes more sense to upgrade... like, the basic shots, as absolutely miserable as that sounds. Good things about Pacific Highway. Don't know if I know that one. Starnicle! Shoot her? I should probably not endeavor to clear the way for that, huh? Let's just get some future resources. If I had been smart, I probably could have gotten a free shot off there. But I'm not. I'm very stupid. Oh, now it's armored, so it kind of doesn't matter what I do with my life. Block, multi-shot, zero draw, dodge, block, shoot. I take 2, but I got shield in there. I don't know if that's worthwhile, but it's what I did. I'm already sort of second-guessing whether evasive shot was a good pick. I've not been happy to draw it so far, but it's a small sample size. Shoot. Move. 2. If I was gonna dodge, I'd be better off going left, so lunge is not it. I guess, like, mage hand, evasive shot. Just move? Not the worst, but not very good. Draw shot? Block. My draw pile is Anabyssal Visions, huh? Not in love with that. Oh, I see. So I can refund myself for the crystal if I do that, and then 0 draw? I think that's good. I'm not certain that's good, but I think that's good. Alright, I do draw that stupid visions. And, oh no, I like want to basic swap, but then 0 draw does nothing. So I guess we'll just 0 draw. Okay, I got off and back anyway. I didn't think I'd have space. So, let's get some shard and shuffle everything back in. And then free stuff. Gonna swap because I didn't think my turn through well enough. Hey, Ditto, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Thank you. Mostly excited about the house. Definitely kind of a bummer week. You missed the 40-minute rant about all the plumbing problems that have occurred this week. And yes, it is more than one of them. Let's shard. Kind of gonna need... Oh no. Did I just do the thing I avoided doing last turn very cleverly and have failed to do this turn? Sounds like me. See, it's a problem because now I don't think I can do anything possible to evade damage. Yeah, it seems bad. It seems not good. Well, almost feels wasteful to do Mage Hand. Is it worthwhile to clear the Abyssal Visions? Like, I'm gonna get another one probably next turn. For some reason, I think that makes sense. I don't actually think it does. But I think it does. Stupid armored creature. Let's do a draw. Yeah. Let's do a free attack. I don't have very much move, huh? Well, it's a good thing we got jumper cables, but I don't think we're making it very far in this run. Nico suggests the ideal game for Halloween should be story-focused, have spooky vibes, but be light on horror, particularly jump scares and gore. Funny is best. I tend to agree with that. I know that's not necessarily a universal opinion. And, like, I'm definitely okay with, like, some amount of, like, properly scary stuff or whatever. I appreciate that. Ditto says he was watching one of my recent VODs and wanted to say that he immediately got my Arcslogger reference. Don't remember what it was to at this point, but love that guy. He's such garbage. Man, I loved when he was in Standard. I played Arcslogger at some, not a PTQ, like a regionals? Like Elizabeth, New Jersey, like 1,000 years ago. I was playing the, like, big red deck out of, like, Darksteel. And I don't know. There's something about Arcslogger I really like. He's really stupid. He's just like a He's like a 5 or a 6 mana, like 4 or 5, something like that. He's like kind of large, but also expensive. And then I believe the only ability he has is his signature: pay 1 red mana, exile the top 10 cards of your library, deal 2 damage to a target. And like, keep in mind that this guy was printed like way before Commander made like 100 card decks like a commonplace thing. So it was basically like, you know, you could deal 2 damage like 4 times and then you'd lose the game. So it was all about, you only do that when you really need to do the 2 damage. But otherwise, he's just a big guy. I do really like the art on him. I have a foiled copy that I just got out of a pack back in the day. And I haven't gotten rid of it or traded it or anything, because I do like the art, and I'm still kind of attached to the bad card. God, we're so dead to this thing. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? We're like so extremely dead. Like really, really dead. Well, I guess I could get that shard back for 2. I mean, I guess we're all in this turn, so... Draw a shot? Oh boy. I mean, block, attack the weak spot, draw, shard, dodge, attack the weak spot, block. So I managed to get 1 move out of all that. So I'm going to take 6. I guess I'm not technically dead, but I mean, it sort of looks like that. Well, I mean, I think I battery first and then multi-shot. And then... I think I have to lunge evasive shot. If I do evasive shot and then lunge, I don't hit anything. I think if I... Nah, I miscalculated that anyway. Neither combination actually works. But that's fine. We'll just spend an energy to move awkwardly. Okay. Let's basic block, multi-shot, battery for no value, evasive shot. It's fine. It's all going according to plan, clearly. Obviously, this is what... Oh, I could get Scramble A. I could get Scramble A instead of the Scramble I desperately never want in my deck that I already went to great efforts to get rid of. Thank you for that, Ditto. How are you doing, Ditto? It's been a minute. You don't even know about the fart water. Shield memory. Your shield lasts between combats. That's no good. What does Resonance Fork do? Fill shard to max at start of combat. Is that good? It's like sort of a combo with Magic Battery. See, the problem with Magic Battery B is that ostensibly I want the Magic Battery for its energy generating purposes. Having it require you to draw a card before getting the energy is a nuisance. It's not very good. I guess I want cockpit lock on? I don't know. Unfortunately, the way I've chosen to do this, I don't actually have, like... Sometimes if things start going badly, you can, like, branch off to a different path and not fight the, like, elite enemy. We are not afforded that luxury. Our deck is pretty bad against this. I'll have you know. Oh. No, wait. I'm realizing this one does not have armor. I always assume both are armored, but that's not true. Hey, Project Dios, welcome. We're so dead. We're so dead. We're so dead. Just like spend 2 to do 1 damage. It just says I've been having a very stressful summer. Same, brother. Used to work being very busy and plentiful. It's been the complete opposite. Now people are coming back to college and things are getting better. Well, I'm glad that things are improving. I thought things were improving, and then I had this week, and they're not. Despite the fact that work has been going pretty poorly for me almost the entire summer, most of my issues have to do with the fact that I now own this house, which is a very nice house that has definitely had most of the possible problems. Which is an extremely first world type of problem to have in 2024, especially considering some of the background of why I'm not completely drowned and on fire at this moment, which I probably won't talk about on stream, but yeah, could be going a lot better. It also says that he's gotten a bunch of CEDH players into Mahjong and been playing in the park near the game store. That is an interesting turn of events. I mean, I guess we should multi-shot. And then, like, shard a question. Oh, good. This is exactly when I want to draw Quantum Quarry. Do we die this turn? We might die this turn. I think we die this turn. Because, like, the most amount of damage I could avoid is, like, this, which is... Oh no, I got 1 shield. It's not quite lethal, everyone. Okay, now I have more energy, and I probably can't do anything with it regardless. It's really funny to me that, like, we ended up with 2 zero-draw decks back-to-back, and one was, like, cursed from the start and, like, won, like, fairly easily. And, like, this one that seemed like a much better start is, like, so unbelievably hosed. Alright. Evasive shot so that I can move here. And then... Oh, the whole rest of my turn is just bad now, isn't it? Blow that up, get free block, but like now neither direction my cannons toggle like does anything. The thing that gives me shield, it only ever gives you 1. It's not equal to the amount of extra energy where that would be good. Oh, that's interesting. Neko suggests Slay the Princess. I know a little bit about that. On my friend's birthday this year, he wanted to show me a bunch of games that they were playing. And one of them was Slay the Princess. I've seen a little bit of it. It's conceptually really interesting and weird. It's very weird. That might be fun to, like, properly play through. We're, like, super dead. How are we, like, still, like, technically alive right now? Now we must literally be dead. I can dodge and blow up the missile. And then lunge? Maybe I'm not technically dead, but I don't think I'm making any progress. What do I want? Draw shot, I guess. And then lunge. And then regrettably, this is a low energy turn because it'd be good to instead play Quantum Core instead of pass and be sad. I'm doing like none damage to this stupid enemy. Alright, lunge. I guess Mage Hand here is fine. Nothing to draw with zero draw. Dodge, I guess. So just like move and gain an extra shield and start sobbing. Yeah, none damage left beef. There's so much like armor on this stupid thing and it's like exactly where I don't want it to be. For some reason, none pizza left beef has been coming up a lot in my mind lately. It is. What is the service? Was it like Domino's online? What was the thing that was actually allowing you to order a none pizza and beef toppings? You know, that's an interesting observation, Ditto, that because, say the princess... Well, no, say the princess isn't... Is it fully voice acted? I guess the narrator is voice acted too, right? Is there any... Yeah, maybe you're right about that. But something that's fully voice acted is good for, like, actual Halloween stream because of all of the donuts. It was Domino's that had the thing. None pizza left beef. It's classic, man. Just opt for no pizza, but order beef toppings. Why not? But only on the left half. Let's not go overboard. So I got one evasion. So is oh god. Every time I draw Quantum Core, it's on the 2 energy turn. I'm really getting mad about this. Alright, evasive shot to blow up the big missile. Then go left, multi-shot, and block past the turn. It just continues to suck here every turn. I guess I will draw. Okay. Block, attack, shard, battery, 0 draw, attack, shard, am I just tanking 4 damage this turn? It says, I also like a cheese with nothing. With nothing? Neka says, Vasco, I remember you played Bioshock Infinite with Tech back in the day. Did I ever play Bioshock 1? No, I think I watched one of my friends play through most of it. It might have been Tech. I think it was Montauk. Back in the suite when we all lived together in college. I'm like reasonably well familiar with the game, but like I'm not typically a big fan of first-person shooters, so like I didn't do my own playthrough of it. Bioshock Infinite just like looked really good, like in a literal sense, and was like I was excited to see that play out. I don't know, the ending to that game, it just felt to me like the ending of Bioshock Infinite realized that it couldn't live up to how cool it had set itself up to be, so instead it tried to make itself so confusing that you would just assume it was profound, and that sort of thing like really annoys me. But like it's mostly a good game. I recently like saw making the rounds again on Twitter that like fantastic video of this like really good Elizabeth cosplayer, like, doing, like, memes about throwing stuff to Booker. Because, you know, like, in combat, they didn't want, like, an unarmed woman to just get shot by the enemy, like, constantly. So she just, like, sort of slips off into nowhere and, like, claims she's gonna, like, find you resources. And then, like, in the video, she's just, like, throwing weird stuff, like an empty soda can. She throws, like, a whole egg that he catches and breaks in his hand. And then, like, at one point, she just, like, throws an entire office chair at him and just knocks him over. So I can survive all the damage. It's 2 from this regular size missile, right? So I can mage hand, which is a little wasteful just for damage, but I probably need to be doing more damage. But if I do that, then I can't quarry, which I guess is fine because it's just not doing anything anyway. And then, I mean, I guess I might as well swap here. Because, yeah, I can, like, shoot again and gain an evasion. Whereas, like, all these things I can do to gain block aren't helpful right now because I'm maxed out. I need to do 3 damage. We're uniquely poorly positioned for that, I'm afraid. How much movement do I have? No, I can make this work. Hold on. Lunge. And then... Oh no, that toggles to the more convenient cannon anyway. It's fine. We got there. We survived that at 1. These are all horrible. Stop. Please stop. Okay. Definitely going... Heal 1 after each combat, as if we'll live long enough. But if we did, it's finally here for us. Oh, hang on. There's a crew member in this crystal. Would we like to trade someone for Drake? I mean, I don't really think so. I don't think that's going to help any of our problems. I am aware of the release of Tactical Breach Wizards. You know, I know that you are also a Northern Line enjoyer, and that's where I saw that. I didn't realize it was in development for like 7 years, though. Yeah, the spells in Bioshock Infinite were also one of the things that made me want to consider playing it. I mean, I know Bioshock 1 and 2 have the... Is plasmid the term for those? It's very similar. You get, like, powers that are similar to spells. The older ones give you bee hands. I'm just gonna skip this. Alright, here's where we die. Well, of all the bosses to fight, this is maybe the least threatening. That doesn't mean we won't die, but it's, like, not threatening. Yeah, bee hands. Is that a Bioshock 2 thing? I thought that was in Bioshock 1. Literally, because, you know, like, you could, like, shoot fire from your hands. You can... I don't really remember what all the OG Bioshock ones are. I think one of them's, like, electricity. Like, a lot of them are really basic, but one of them is just, like, bees. Like, your hands, like, become, like, a hive for bees, and they, like, crawl around in them, and then you just shoot bees at living things. It's not so good against, like, the robots and whatever, for somewhat obvious reasons. Let's get a crystal, I guess. Don't know that zero draw is especially good on this turn. Let's do an evasive shot, and then a basic shot, and then a mage hand, I guess. Alright, my infinite temp shield is now gone. I can tank the damage currently facing me, so I guess I want to reblock quarry. Man, the cannons on the Gemini line up so much nicer than the cannons on the Ares against this enemy. I think I just shoot you twice. So I'll have 1 shield left, beef. That's like a lot of damage. I need you to understand. Let's get some move up in here. Let's do... I guess we should draw. That's something. That's something. Let's do an evasive shot, and a basic shot, and a basic block. And, yeah, I'm gonna cut that damage down to 1. That continues to look pretty bad for me. Pretty bad. So... looking like the best I'm gonna do defensively is probably like move here. Do a 0 attack. Now I can 0 draw to get a block, a dodge, and a shot. That's pretty good value overall. And then maybe like Mage Hand, as much as I would like to multi-shot. Let's do this first. Pew, block, dodge. The dodge is not helpful on this turn, which is fine. Yeah, no, I like explicitly need to Mage Hand or I literally died to death. Has anyone ever made like a movie called Die to Death? It seems like something that should have happened. Man, it'd be real nice to draw lunge right now, I think. They keep putting their extra scary cannons up in my business, which is not where I would like those to go. Alright, let's battery. And shoot. Block. Raw. Draw and shard. Evasion. Shoot again. Free block. Should be able to survive. I honestly think rather than fire that last shot, I'm just gonna save the energy so I get 1 extra shield, because it's getting scary out here. Okay. Lunge is not terrible. Let's draw a shot. That's not great. Let's get an evasion. Yeah, let's do lunge. And we again are obligated to Mage Hand. Just that one forever. Alright. Free attack. Draw. Free evade. Free block. 0 draw. Free attack. Shard. Draw shot. Got him. Ooh, Flux is fun. Flux is really fun in this deck. Yeah, let's take Flux. So Flux gives you this weird status that I think only this card gives you, where like basically on the turn you play it, every card you play gives you temp shield, which like we desperately need because we're always at 1, but we're playing like a bunch of cards. Okay, and we could take every time you heal 1 more. Which is interesting because we do have the one that heals you 1 after every combat. Are we overcorrecting? It's possible. Alternatively, Revenge Drive. Demolition says, if this build wins, you deserve a donut. I don't know if that's true. I would settle for the store stocking peanut butter candy cakes, which it hasn't done in like almost 2 weeks. Not quite 2 weeks, I think. I don't think I need Grimoire. Revenge Drive seems like really ambitious. But like Heal Booster seems like ridiculously conservative. I'm taking it anyway. Alright. Upgrade. I'm definitely upgrading. You can't stop me. What does an upgrade to Flux look like? Oh, I can make it cost 1? That's probably worth it. Like, think of all the shield. Think of all the temporary shield over and over again. Now watch me die on, like, the first turn, even with, like, all the jumper cable shields. Why are you like this? I'm not this mean, am I? You are. You just covered up by being bubbly. I mean, we'll die soon. I mean, it's always good to drop Quantum Core on the first turn with jumper cables. Boy, if we didn't take these jumper cables, how dead would we be? My temp shield is at 13. Don't worry about it. Block. Draw a shot. Dodge. I think this is zero draw territory. More dodge. More block. Should have shot before playing that block. Am I willing to draw something here? It's all gonna be bad. Yeah, I just wasted that. It's fine. Yep, all the shield is gone. And we didn't draw Flux, which is not great. I mean, draw? Oh boy. That zero draw is not a good draw. Does the move do anything for me? I need to reduce damage. I don't think I can survive this turn. I think I finally died. No, wait, I have like a bunch of move. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's like super lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might be able to live on 1 if I go left. No, wait. Does the cannon get far enough for that? Oh, it does. I think it does barely. So hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's very important that I both shoot this for 0 and also don't play a 1-cost card. Because then I get 1 shield and then I go back to 1. Oh god, stop putting your cannons exactly there. The last guy did this too, it's not fair. Lunge helps. I'm glad we drew the dodge. I mean... I should probably just take... Well, I don't know. I think I want the shield. I'm gonna pass without playing anything. Well, I was taking more damage there than I thought I would. Because I guess I didn't think at all. So we have 0 draw. That's good. Let's get an energy. Let's... I guess we should have fluxed it first. Let's dodge and block and zero draw. Guess we should have drawn first. So we did very little damage to them and take 1 shield damage. Well, we don't have Flux this turn, which is bad. And they have extra shield this turn, which is super not great for me either. I mean, we should probably Mage Hand just to have more shield, because it does that. I think I need to lunge and move and not spend the last energy. Yeah, probably. So concuss that with the 0 cost attack, save an energy for more shield, so we maybe live more turns. Lux. Wait, did I gain 2 temp shield for 1 multi-shot? That's not correct, is it? I don't think that's how that card is intended to work that way. So I don't get extra shield this turn, but I get this and extra temp shield from playing it? Wait, am I... what am I... Oh no, it is when you attack, it's not when you play... card. That's slightly worse in this deck than I thought it was, huh? Oh, Neko says she ordered herself a big fluffy Swablu. That's fun. I don't think I've seen that before. How big is it? Is it one of those ones like that exorbitantly expensive Psyduck that was like featured for a while? So we don't die this turn, but like I continue to think we're not winning. And it's also taking forever. I mean... battery first, I think, and then draw. Lunge is not it, huh? So dodge, and then attack. Zero draw. Attack. Dodge. What do I want here? I am threatened with 3 damage. If I lunge, I am threatened with 3 damage. So... then I have to not spend energy. Ugh. Is anyone else tired? Didn't have the money for a 400-pound plushie, but you can buy a massive Altaria like that. Swablu is 36 centimeters by 36 by 26. I'm not worldly enough to translate that into imperial units that my dumb American brain can comprehend. Oh man. I mean, shard and draw? I kind of have to blow up the missile, right? Oh, we're so hosed, bro. can't tell if that's some sort of rhetorical question, but no, we use inches in America. It's about 2 6-packs of beer. I mean, I think you know that's also useful metric, but I appreciate the effort. Block, draw shot? Oh, good. Flux at the very end, huh? I don't know what I hope to draw. But I feel like I pretty much have to, like, specifically draw a shot. No, wait, I know what I can do. It's not great, but let's move one to the right, and then Flux, which will reduce the amount of temp shield that they gain next turn. And then I will multi-shot for 2 additional shield. So now my temp shield carries. It says 1 bald eagle at 1/4 wingspan. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know what Neko's talking about with Americans not wanting to use metrics so bad that they'll use any measurement, though. I mean, who doesn't know that, like, 1 bald eagle at 1/4 wingspan is about 36 centimeters? This hand is cheap and also bad. I mean, Mage Hand block should prevent me from dying in the immediate term. And then we will shoot the weak zone and then gain more movement. That won't help. And then shoot the weak zone. We're close! We're close! Okay. Battery shard. I mean, you're just dead, aren't you? Draw. We somehow survived that. I could get another 0 draw. I mean, I genuinely think I'm sort of obliged to, not just for the meme, but like at this point we've been leaning so hard on trying to get 0 draw to work in the first place that like I just feel like that is probably the correct thing to do. Now, does it suck that they cost 2? Yes. Can I theoretically upgrade them? Yes. Okay, Demolition says that it is 0.00396 by 0.00285 football fields. That couldn't be any clearer, Neko. Don't you agree? Oh my god, can you imagine me taking something that increases the damage my ship is taking? I mean, at this point, I think we've well established how much I don't like high-frequency intercom. And this is just like a death sentence. So I'm like, for sure, taking Warp Mastery. Where's it? Hang on. We still have not named the 3rd sector. I don't know what specific combination of characters is required for this, but somehow I've avoided doing that. Okay, with full screen of the other monitor, I don't know if this is gonna work right. Okay, it did pop up. Okay, that's probably like a little bigger than coughing. That's a good size Swablu. Swablu's a cutie. Here, actually, I want to see if browser cache will work again. There you go. It looks like that. It's like Demolition said. It's 0.00396 by 0.00285 football fields. I just don't know how you could make that any clearer. I think Dizzy names it. I think I've used Dizzy least out of all characters. Not because I don't like Dizzy, but because like chat just doesn't seem to care about Dizzy. I've normally let chat decide which characters I'm using. Wow, you know what? This is sort of the exact penalty for playing this dumb, stupid deck that I've chosen for myself, huh? Well, you know, I got an energy left over. I guess I'll generate some shield for later. Doo-dee-doo. So I can lunge to attack that weak point on their cockpit. And then block, and then evasive shot. And then trying to save energy isn't useful because we're at max shield right now. So I will attack and then scoot. Honestly, I think my favorite combination of characters might just be the original three. It just feels like they're well balanced, but like they still have weird variations you can play with them. Isaac is like really hit or miss for me. Like when Isaac isn't contributing, like Isaac is an albatross. He's an anchor weighing us down. Books is a little hit or miss. I like the character of Books a lot, but like I don't know. Sometimes Books' cards don't play nice with others. Mechanically, Parry is probably my favorite. Just very straightforward, pew pew. I don't know. I like Dizzy's stuff too. The payback and some other stuff that I probably haven't played terribly much, to be honest. Okay, let us Lux your weak points. And no, I won't buy you dinner first. And then I will multi-shoot it. And then oh, I did that out of order. It was so smart that I was gonna attack the weak spot again, and then I just got overzealous about playing the shard right away because I'm a dingus. Okay, shard, Lux. Swap, multi-shot. Battery. What can I draw? Some zeros, but I think if I draw shot, realistically I'm gonna draw 2 0 draws and have a bad time. So I think I'm just going to... Because I could lunge. Lunge isn't bad here. Mage Hand would... I mean, it would give me more shield, but I have to like deal with more or spend the evade, which is probably fine. Oh no, Mage Hand isn't active right now. I used all my shards. Never mind. Let's do that. Okay, this more or less worked out the way I had hoped. So let's dodge, shoot, block, 0 draw, shard, re-attack, re-block, evasive shot, dodge, and then use my shield to tank with my face. Okay. Oh no, all my 0 draw cards went away. So having the 2 0 draws is horrendous. Block. Blocks. Battery. 0 draw. Block. Multi-shot. It's not great, but I think that's the best I can do. Shard. Boo-doo-dee-doo. Dodge. Evasive shot. Shot. Hey, quantum coring. Number shot A. Lose all shard for each attack for 2 damage. I don't think I want any of these. The wave beams. The wave beams cost 0 and they don't exhaust. But this one is B, so it will always cost 2? Nah, I want expensive stuff. Alright, current time is just after midnight. Oh, we're already in the last zone? I shouldn't stretch it, but... Okay, hang on. What do I still want to upgrade here? I mean, both 0 draws. This has been going so horrifically. I think I'm just going to take the 3 shop path. Oh, good. This guy. I don't hate this guy or nothing. Do not worry about it. Multi-shot. Dodge. It says, Captain, important lore question. Do you still have access to your signature 100% juice apple, or are you stuck with bootleg 100% juice apple? Well, so it is a different grocery store chain out here. As my mom pointed out when she did like an Instacart order, even though the label on the apple juice bottles out here says something more normal on it and looks different, it is labeled as 100% juice apple, like in their inventory. It tastes a little different, but it's pretty similar. I'm not sure exactly how to answer the question as a result of that information. Becco says, I'm just thinking, when Demolition says football fields, which one does he mean? Football fields or fields for American football? Does American football use the standard football field size or its own size? I'm fairly certain that American football and European football fields use different dimensions, if for no other reason than the different systems of measurement. Is it better or worse? It's not really either. It's a little different. I think I like it a little less, but I wouldn't say it's worse. It's pretty close. So we still get a stupid dodge up again. Yeah, the quantum superposition of 100% juice apple is more or less correct. I guess draw? Well, no. Flux and then draw? None of this seems particularly important. Just like free stuff. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna take this on the chin. I guess if I'm gonna do that, I should have like moved and shot them. Whatever. Don't worry, I'm just like casually terrible at this game I've been playing forever. Alright, I think this is fine. Unpolished crystal to get crystal shard. Playing that draws and maxes out battery. Play battery to bank energy. Play a free thing that isn't an attack. Play a free attack. Play another 0 cost, 0 draw. Shard to draw something. It's a 0 draw I can't use, which is a bummer. Attack. Dodge. Shoot. Block. I take some legit damage here. In theory, that's not enough to break the bank, because if I win this, I can gain 2 hull. I've been fortunate enough to draw a Flux and multi-shot together most of the time I've, like, had them. Let's do... swap? Multi-shot? I can, like, spew battery to, like, toggle my cannons in place. Lunge, probably just better, though. Let's just take that homing missile damage. You considered ordering the correct type online? I mean, I don't know. It might, if I could, it might be nice to get them just to, like, confirm whether I'm being ridiculous. The problem is that, like, I didn't have any 100% juice apple at all for, like, 5 or 6 weeks straight. So to, like, give, like, a proper comparison of the two is, like, really hard. So, like, I could just be wrong. It's close enough that I could be wrong. And that it is truly just the same. It's like a lot of damage. Are you aware of how much damage you're threatening? I keep drawing the 0 draw cards, like, at the top of my deck. Which is bad. By which I mean when I have to shuffle everything in and so the discard pile is empty. Obviously the card you draw is on top of your deck. That's how deck works. Alright, start with Flux, I guess. I guess I have a reasonable number of useful things to draw. Kind of didn't get there. Block, multi-shot. Yeah, if I scoot over 1, I'm fine, but not great. Okay. For a second, as I was discarding that basic attack, I thought it might have been the 0, and that I just, like, ignored the fact that that could have been useful. So it's bank and energy, and then do basic shot, and then shard my last card, and then throw that away because it costs 0, and then draw all of my 0 cost cards from my whole deck. And then we will... There's a correct order here. If I shard first, I could feasibly draw... I could feasibly shuffle and draw another 0 draw. Which is actually, I think, my most likely draw. But I did not get it. It would have been nice. So we do... Attempting to draw it now doesn't really do anything. But I think this is still better long term, because next turn I could draw, like, the 0 draws, and I'll have, like, stuff in my discard still. So let's do a block and a shoot. I do not... Do I have enough to kill them? Wait, maybe I... I should wait. Lunge. Basic dodge. Mage hand? Oh, thank goodness. Sick of being in that fight. No and no and extra battery B. Gain 2 energy now, gain 1 extra energy next turn. You know what? I mean, I can't get it back with 0 draw because it exhausts itself, but, like, because I have the 2 expensive 0 draws, I think this is worth taking. Plus, it, like, doesn't fatten the deck too much because 1 play and it removes itself, but, like, it helps deal with the fact that the 0 draws can be expensive and, like, wonk up some turns, especially when I draw 2 in the same turn. But, like, even if I end up with extra energy on, like, 1 or both of these turns, I convert it into shield. So, like, I think that's good enough. So we're going up. Maximum stores. Right, we managed to heal the full. Which means we're going to take, like, a lot of damage, weirdly. Multi-shot. Block. Just kidding, I'm gonna use some of my multitude of extra start of combat movement. Move. Flux. Dodge. Evasive shot. Crystal. Shoot. I have to alternate them because one of my cannons is facing an armored thing. Well, not the best turn to draw extra battery. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. Obviously, I managed to get all that sweet temporary shield on a turn where they weren't attacking me, because that's just how it goes. Alright, let's... Battery. This card costs 1. Draw? Oh, hey, look at that! We answered my hypothetical question from earlier. A card that has a 0 with a slash through it as its cost still counts as a 0 cost card. Is that annoying in this case? Yes, it's actively bad for me, but we learned something. Huh. Alright, hold on. Let's start by drawing. I was expecting that to shuffle my deck, and it didn't. I'm not sure if I'm the ridiculous one. Let's swap. Okay. Now, let's shard and hope to draw 0 draw. No. Okay. Well, that's not great. Flux, I guess. And then... Zero guy, and then block, and I think cutting this damage in half is worth spending an evasion. Oh hey, this actually kind of worked out. No, my 0 cost stuff is accounted for. Okay. So, dodge. Draw. I really wanted the crystal shard really badly. That would have been very, very good for me. So I got both of the comm jams again. So cool. Alright, we're playing Battery B. And then we're going to draw shot. Okay. And then we're gonna just fire them off, I guess. Shoot, block, dodge, 0 draw. Shoot, block, dodge. Well, I guess at least they're not doing damage this turn. Because that wasn't as cool as that probably should have been. Alright, well, now it's not super useful, but okay. Let's do... this. Flux. Bank energy. Shard. Oh boy. Move again. Draw shot. Cool. Comm jam. Cool, cool, cool. I guess I really might as well just play all of the cards I have. There's a correct order to this, I'm pretty sure. I think it's just lunge last makes the most sense. So fire left for 2. Fire right for 1. Fire left for 1, but also scoot, and then block. God, these fights take forever. I don't think... Chat, I'm concerned that this deck isn't good at all, actually. I don't know if anyone had considered that possibility, but at this point I would say that I have considered it, and it is alarming. Let's flux to draw. And then shard. Roll my eyes at stupid zero draw double comm jam. And then I guess evasive shot. Bank energy. Dodge. Shoot. Draw. These comm jams. These comm jams. I mean, this really Nico says, I see what you mean. A lot of your cards are literally unplayable. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, adding like 7 copies of Comm Jam to my deck. Really was something of an incredible oversight. I don't know, man. What would Crystal Shard even draw? I guess it could draw 0. No, well, obviously the answer was Comm Jam. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, even speculating there, to be honest. That's fully on me. I mean, how much movement do I have? 3? I guess we'll do shoot, multi-shoot, dodge. I'll just spend that to save 3 damage so I don't cut into hull. Just can't resist those 0 cost cards. Yeah, I guess I just didn't think through the ramifications of the synergy, you know? It just seems like if they cost 0, they should be beneficial. But, like, I don't know. I guess I'm the idiot. Let's bank some energy, throw away a block. I just, like... This specific enemy is, like, clearly made to counter exactly the thing I'm doing, and it's just exhausting to be here. Draw shot. I can't draw anything that costs 0 off draw shot, so it's clearly not the optimal play. Now the question is, can I draw things that aren't Comm Jam? I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Let's shard. Great. Guess I might as well mage hand here. Want to draw? Yeah, I probably want to draw those next turn. Whatever, we'll max out defense, and I guess we'll do evasive shot, because it actually gives us a useful future resource. Oh, sweet, I drew Comm Jam. No need to worry, everyone. Got there. Now, of course, we find ourselves with 0 draw, 2 unplayable cards, and a mage battery, so, like, that's not, strictly speaking, ideal. Let's do Flux and basic shot, and I guess spend all my... No, I'll take half. I got temporary shield. Okay, I mean, not a lot going on here, huh? Move, mage hand, dodge, lunge, block for no value, and then gain extra block for no value. It's just embarrassing to be here. Multi-shot, basic shot, end this. These fights are taking longer than I want. I don't really want any of these cards. I guess I could take the quick thinking. It doesn't actually, like, do anything, though, really? I mean, I guess on a turn where I, like, end up with 2-0 draw or something, it's fine. I don't know. Another encounter. This might be the last one. These are taking forever. Draw. Two. I forget what status this guy gives you. It's something bad. Something along the lines of Comm Jam. Got like a lot of it. Let's just swap, I guess. Yeah, it's not a good zero draw. Lux. Like basic shot, evasive shot. I don't really want to take the status effect, to be honest with you. I think I actually have that on my, like, grand list of things I normally forget that I've considered for putting on the stream before, Ditto. Music Master Chopin. I remember seeing a Chopin-themed game that looked like Guitar Hero, which, strictly speaking, I don't really enjoy Guitar Hero, but Chopin. So I put it on the list, but I don't think I've ever, like, very seriously considered it as a result. I don't know, man. Now, see, this turn I kind of wish I had the lunge. I never really paid attention to the fact that aquatic life form, like, doesn't show you what it looks like. Is the idea meant to be that it's so alien you don't get a picture, or just that, like, this whole ship is actually just like a living monster? This is not good. I'm gonna, like, Corey, double shoot, block. Move twice. I'm gonna save the move and take the status. What is it? Sphere. So it holds, like, space in your hand. That's pretty not good. Oh boy, my hand does look like trash, garbage, poop, soup. Crystal drawn to not garbage? No, drew into garbage. Quick thinking? I don't even know what my goal here is. Like, probably just gonna trade battery for fear, but then I'm just gonna, like, take more fear damage, huh? So I guess I would, like, battery, evasive shot, then fear. Takes more hull damage, get a new fear. Shard. Bank some energy. Probably use it on fear, I don't know. Guess I should lunge. Which seems a little weird, but I think lunging into position where flux is good makes sense. And then zero draw. God, I sure feel like that should have more cards than that I get back. Shard. Block. Attack the weak spot. Dodge. Pass? I don't know. The game is full of Chopin lore too. Oh, that's very tempting. Chopin lore is inarguably the best part of that game. I don't even know why you would consider anything else for best part of that game. Okay, Flux. Shoot. Mage Hand. Lots of fear. Everything to fear, including fear itself, is my takeaway. Honestly, at the rate we're going, I think I'd rather just discard this and try to draw something else. You know, though, maybe, take a break from tanking all these face shots. Ooh, multi-shot. Okay, great. Got there. Nico says that she just watched the trailer for this game. Includes rock versions of Chopin music for electric guitars so you could feel like a Chopin rock star. One, I would say that feels redundant. I mean, isn't feeling like Chopin feeling like a rock star? And two, what on earth? Like, what? Like, his music doesn't feel like it lends itself to that very well. But then again, Trombone Hero exists, so... Just gonna skip these. Shop. Let us upgrade... Basic shot. Now, is it the case that Zone 3... Sure, give me more hull that I will lose in battle. Does Zone 3 like more counterbalanced against zero cost strategies, or have I just gotten like insanely unlucky? Because I feel like I faced two enemies that were specifically really bad for me. Let's upgrade a card, and that card will be 0 draw. Here's a serious question though. Assuming I survive this battle, good, this is not an extremely bad one for me. It's not like super easy for me, but like it's not like the worst thing I can imagine, which is what I've been getting recently, both in game and in real life. Dodge, quick thinking. Block, multi-shot. Crystal. Shoot for free, draw. Shoot for free. Evasive shot. It's like a pretty good first turn. This looks bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pew. I kind of know what to do. Maybe? It may not matter which of these I use, but I guess that's only true if I definitely get extra battery B, which I should do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I spend... Yeah, I can... Yeah. Let's do 2. And then free attack, shard, free attack, block, dodge, extra battery, 0 draw again, shard, free attack, dodge, free attack, free block, mage hand. That is the first time this deck has performed the way I intended, and it is the second to last battle in the run. So, cool. I guess this Vasco, you've clearly never heard the music of Catherine. It's full of classical music converted into rock music. It's not that I don't think rock music or classical music as a category can't be converted to rock. You've heard Chopin's music, right? I wouldn't say that none of it could be, but like as a rule, My familiarity with it does not suggest a strong correlation with rock potential. Oh yeah, I find this card annoying. Oh hey, look, it's zero draw. Hey everybody, it's zero draw. I mean, I guess. I don't actually think it's good to have 3 zero draws in your deck, but I can't not go, right? Every 5th time you attack, gain an evade. That's a little useful. Random enemy part is made brittle at the start of the fight. Or every time your discard pile is shuffled back in your draw pile, gain an evade. These first two are pretty similar. The last one, honestly, I think I'm just going to take it to hopefully make this fight a little quicker. Upgrade. Zero draw. Now, is it better? Well, you know what? Now that we have 3 zero draw, I think I'm going to make 1 zero draw A, 1 zero draw B, and 1 zero draw classic. Because, like, at least zero draw B is easier to play and makes it so I'm not drawing like 3 zero draws, hopefully, but I don't know. Probably somehow still will do it. Okay. Bad start. Let's just like move Lux, Quantum Quarry, Basic Shot, Basic Dodge. That means we're taking 4 damage. I will convert 1 evasion into 2 health. Okay, this hand is bad. Quick thinking? This hand is worse. Crystal Shard? Okay, that's helpful. Well, I think I am supposed to swap. No, it didn't matter, huh? I don't think that's worth worrying about. I think we're gonna evasive shot the weak spot, then do zero draw A, and then attack the weak spot, shard, bank an energy. Wow, this is gonna be a turn. Dodge, shoot. It's a lot of things I could do. I think they're all good. I could just like zero draw B more or less right now. I think I'm better off banking this energy regardless. But the question is like, do I draw shot? I don't have enough shard to get more energy from where I'm at. But if I draw shot, I clear up space for things to draw. Well, no, I guess that's not true. I put more cards in my hand. Let's spend the energy now. Let's shard. Okay, cool. We drew our last remaining zero cost card in the deck. So shoot the weak spot. Evade. Shoot the weak spot. Interesting. I could like lunge and move and block. I think that's worth it. Lunge, block. Now, do I want to zero draw B? I think the answer actually should be yes, because this is about an ideal of circumstances I think our deck can generate currently. And I don't know, it lets us get like an incidental draw shot for minimal value. Or maybe we'll draw into multi-shot off the crystal shard. Draw everything. Shard. Hey, we drew multi-shot. So let's multi-shot and then dodge and then shoot and then block and then shoot again. And then move twice and take none hull damage. That was a pretty good turn, and yet they're like still extremely threatening. So let's bank some energy. Shard. These trash cards are not great for me. Nor is zero draw A, but it's like a minimal cost to do it. I think I'm gonna take out the trash. Block. Draw. Shard. The problem with trying to concuss these side cannons is I don't have that many things that do more than one damage. Like I have a mage hand right now. I don't know that that's good. Although, they are supposed to have a weak spot somewhere. I'll give it a shot. It wasn't there. But, let's do left one. Evasive shot. Left one again, block. For some reason I thought that was going to clear me from the middle. Let's move again. Gross. I think I need to move right and then dodge and then blocks. And then draw shot. Since like all I have are attacks, I kind of have to spew some to make damage happen. So it's multi-shot, the weak spot. I can't lunge anymore. So I'll just fire these off. Pew. Pew. Now, the amount of temporary shield I have is 6. And I'm currently taking 9 damage, which is a lot. But I got some hold to spare. I think I'm going to save my move. The sun is rising, so you're going to try and sleep. Probably a good idea for vampires like us, Neko. Enjoy your day at the cinema, presumably. Demolition said, the fact that this build even made it this far is a small miracle and a testament to how good a gamer you are. I'm willing to agree to half of that. I feel like the latter part probably overstates it. Let's bank some energy and shard. And then... oh no, man. Like, shoot and dodge and shoot and dodge and shoot. We have pretty much the cards I have played this turn. Zero draw. Shard into something good? Mage hand's not bad. dodge, mage hand. You know, I probably should have tried concussing the other one, to be honest with you. There's really no way that this works and isn't stupid. I guess I could spew the magic battery. Could do that, and then shoot, and then lunge. It's not great, but I think it might be good enough. So yeah, do this, shoot. No, it still doesn't work, right? Yeah, it still ends up in like the wrong spot. Well, at least I can test this for weak spot, which that is not. So this isn't, and this isn't. I think those are the only points I've shot on the ship. We're gonna take some hull damage, but I don't want to take the full 4. Cutting it close. Flux. Draw. We're out of move, huh? Multi-shot. Block. That should protect us from most of this, and we got some damage in. Yeah, it took like 1 hull. That's not so bad. What a terrible turn to have nothing discarded in the graveyard. I don't even have the magic battery because I used it to try and maximize damage in a way that didn't even make sense. Right now, I wish this lunge was reversible. Because this column is bad. I don't want to be here. I guess I'll just dodge it entirely. I guess... Yeah, Mage Hand does have value here. So I scoot left with the 1 evasion I have, and then I can get 1... I can spend 1 as 1 dodge, or I can do 1 damage and get 1 dodge. It's also not the weak spot. Why do I still have energy? Whatever. More dodge. Pew pew. Okay. Let's bank this energy and then draw. Free block, multi-attack, 0 draw. That was a rough one. You are growing stronger. I guess it's Perry. Hey. Hello. No threats this time? Nah, I'm tired. Same. That is understandable. If I could ease this burden, I would. Actually, this infinite void we're in, can I take a quick nap here? No one has asked that before, but, yes, you may. Thanks, boss. How long do you wish to nap? Nap well, little one. Oh, that's cute. I like that one. Memory 3, T-minus 97 days. Begin recording. Work on the core continues, but the questions we started with remain unanswered. I haven't told the rest of the crew about the contingency plan. They don't need to know, and it will only... Hey, are you doing a ship's log? Dizzy! Hi. Yes, I'm making a log entry. Cool. Keep going. I can't, you're making me nervous. Sorry, I was hanging out on the other deck, but actually, this huge weird ship with just the 4 of us on it, it's super creepy. I don't like it either. So I figured I'd come hang out on the bridge with you, for protection, in case there's like ghosts. Protection? Do you think my laser rifle works against ghosts? I figured it might have like a ghost setting. It doesn't. But yeah, stay up here. There's plenty of bugs. Sweet, I'll go get all my stuff. And for the record, I'm not scared. Together we simply provide an elevated threat profile and a variety of tactical... Absolutely, yeah, whatever. That might be my favorite memory so far also. I do like Perry. Well, just 3 more, and then I don't know what happens after 3 more. But something, presumably, I don't know. Or maybe nothing. Maybe nothing happens at all. 3-ish runs. I don't know, man. If they're like that, it might be like 8. That one shouldn't have worked. I mean, what's weird is it should have worked, and then it really shouldn't have worked. And then it really, really shouldn't have worked. And then it was fine. I mean, we got to the final boss with, like, full health, I think, despite being matched really poorly in the last sector. It was just that, like, we had some real bad luck early on that ran us down to, like, 1 and 2 health. But yeah, I mean, I think tomorrow we're probably playing this. I don't really, it's been just a dreadful, I haven't gotten, like, anything. That's not true. I've gotten, like, so much done that I'm, like, burned out by, like, 3 in the afternoon every day, and it's been really hard to get, like, work done. So I don't want to stay up too much longer. Some stuff is hidden, including Squirtles and some sort of McDonald's toy that is both Hello Kitty and Yu-Gi-Oh! Enjoy this brief reprieve of 100% juice apple and see if you can find a Squirtle, because of course locating a secret Squirtle is an omen of good luck in the coming days. Behind the pirate. Now, can you clarify? Because there's, I did put a little pirate hat on this guy, and of course Squidbeard's kind of a pirate by trade, and then also we have Pirate Crab. Do you enjoy the fact that Mew is winking? I feel like it exhibits Mew's personality well. Hey, she's cute. You can't pose her tail at all. It's kind of stuck to her head. Bottom rightmost on the shelves. You mean this large rabbit that I find it difficult not to be blocking? By the way, for those of you who haven't endured all of the Florida streams thus far, this is not the final configuration of this room. The old couch takes up too much space in this room, and I just haven't figured out what to be doing. There have been some more urgent situations that have taken all of my attention and energy. Okay, we got some good guesses. We got Pirate Crab, Mew, Big Rabbit, Jigglypuff. Let's go and find out. It helps that I don't remember what I did at all. Great. Let's start with Mew. Now, which I think you'll enjoy this, considering the subject of many of your messages. Behind Mew has been Donut Cat, the cat that lives inside a donut. You know, there's all these stray cats in my neighborhood, and like one of them in particular has been really friendly and curious about my house in particular. So I like went online to like, how can I tell if it is boy cat or girl cat? And the answer is basically like, look at its butt, and then there's like a variation in what is near its butt. I'm like, that's cool and normal. But then that cat like was laying on my back sort of patio the other day and like clearly had like pregnant cat nipples. I'm like, oh, okay, girl cat, got it. And then I didn't have to stare directly into the butthole, is the point of that story. So Mew. We also had Big Rabbit. Big Rabbit was concealing the whale from One Piece. Which, and this amused me, I was catching up on One Piece earlier today when I realized that I should have stopped working like an hour and a half earlier. I used some of that time to catch up on One Piece because I was behind. And even though he only made a cameo, Laboon appeared for like the first time in like a really long time, and it made me happy. So we got that going on. There's Jigglypuff guess. Jigglypuff was concealing Eeyore, who did not want to sit up straight without falling out of the back of the shelves, because unfortunately that is the nature of these shelves. And lastly, guess a pirate crab, who indeed is concealing a cheeky Halloween Squirtle. Now, obviously, Halloween is approaching, so I figured it'd be good to have some of our costume friends show up. I was also trying to do like a color coordination thing. I had a gray shelf and a brown shelf and a pink shelf. It didn't come together as well as I thought it would, but I enjoyed it. I don't know. The more streams I end up dedicating to this out of lack of ability to prepare anything, the more I think we're just gonna power through to the end of this game. Although, at the same time, if we get those last 3 memories, there seems to be a non-zero chance that we unlock another character and have to do 3 more runs. I don't know. I don't know about that. But, like, yeah, I don't know. We could try running the Switch. It honestly probably would work, but, like, I don't know. We could check Black Squid, also known as the Octo Hat. But it's not a Squirtle. It's a different aquatic friend. It's the little manta ray or stingray. It's kind of hard to tell from the cartoonized version, but it's very cute. I like this one. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I'd say there's a pretty good chance it's Cobalt Core. I do promise that if my life stops being nonstop things to do, so that I could like think about something for more than 10 minutes at a time, try to do stuff. I mean, like, certainly by the end of September, I expect to start doing something at least like vaguely thematic. It might be the case that, like, I don't know, we'll see if we fit in Princess Peach Showtime before or after Halloween. Might be like palette cleanser from spookiness after all, so maybe we do a week or 2 more of this, at least see what happens when we get all the memories, and then depending on what that looks like, maybe start delving into some spooky suggestions or something. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a stream. Oh, that's already one. That's really annoying. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. Whether that's tomorrow or some point in the future. Take care of yourselves and remember that you are Clawsome. Clawsome!